Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
Feels like work. Shooting the shit for 2 hours, drinking beer and talking beer. What a wonderful experience.
Can we not have the barf bucket near my mixing board?
I think everybody could read the book.
I knew you were going to use this book as an excuse to quit doing this show.
Mrs. Bub, if you want, I can mail you the Bub Timer.
Yeah, Newcastle, especially in the can. Have you ever had it in the can? No, I have not had it in the can.
Notice I closed my eyes and I concentrated really hard.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, welcome to the program. Back here on The Session after another wonderful San Francisco Beer Week last week. And by wonderful, I mean long and long.
Long.
Yeah. It feels like it's more than 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a feeling it is.
A
that
lot
might be
more.
why.
Yeah.
I was talking to Alex at the Rare Barrel the other day, and we came up with an after SF Beer Week event called SF Sleep Week.
Oh.
Where every business that participates just shuts down for 7 days so everyone can actually sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think it's an awesome idea.
Pretty good,
San
right?
Francisco's the healthiest week on earth.
Right.
SF Sleep Week. We had a lot of fun here at the Hop Grenade. We had events pretty much every night, and some really good ones. You know, Society was in town.
And some good ones.
Yeah. And we had some other good ones.
Good.
Pizza Port, of course, kicked it off for us. We had Schmaltz Brewing Company come in and do Jews and brews with us.
Schmaltzy things.
They brought some really good beer with them. That was a lot of fun. I ate matzo ball soup.
Was that your first experience with it?
Your first time?
No, Kate the Great made matzo ball soup once. Don't ask me why.
Why?
I think she got it in some recipe book or something. It was actually a really good matzo ball.
Sounds great. Let's eat it. It sounds healthy, Justin.
Yeah. She made a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
It was better than ours here.
I like crepe blocks better.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a matzo ball, but with meat in it.
Yeah, it's like a dumpling.
Oh, now that sounds good.
Instead of just a big dough ball,
Yeah.
it's got meat inside of that dough ball.
It's a dumpling.
Oh, you gotta have meat. I mean,
You would love a crepe block, a good crepe block.
Jews are really good at picking things that exist and naming something like here it's a dumpling, but we're going to call it crepe block. Or it's like it's French fries, but we're going to call it latkes.
Right?
Yeah.
I like it. Well, maybe actually we stole it from the Jews and named it other things.
You know, you're
if
right.
You think about it.
We predate you.
Yeah. So that was a great event. And Friday night we had Firestone Walker in here with a bunch of barrel-aged beers. There's still a bunch of Firestone Walker on tap, and some of the really good ones, too. So stuff you can't find everywhere. So if you want to come down, I'd say early in the week, we'll still have some on tap, but it'll go fast. So come on down. You can come down tonight. Got a lot of things going on. Let me thank our sponsor of this show, More Beer. More Beer's been bringing you this program for almost 10 years now, and we love them for it. So thanks for doing that. And they love you, too. They're giving away 2 tickets to the National Homebrewers Conference this year.
I saw that.
Wow.
Yeah, they're doing a fierce giveaway. Basically, you get 2 round-trip flight tickets to San Diego Airport from wherever you are, I guess. There's probably restrictions.
I guess.
What if you're
From Portland.
What if you're in San Diego?
Yeah, they're
you
like,
have to go to the airport.
You do, and then they'll pick you up there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're actually forced to fly on a plane.
You have to fly. You just do. You like
you take
circle.
off, circle, and then come back down.
You
Right.
fly to LAX and you grab
Well, John Wayne, let's not.
So you get 2 flights. You get 4 nights at the Town and Country Resort, and you get 2 full pass registrations to the whole conference, which that's kind of a big deal right there, and they're going to be hard to get this year. So that gives you everything you need to go to all events at the conference. 2 gift cards for 1-year memberships to the American Homebrewers Association. And then, of course, 2 VIP passes to our own party, BNA 10.
Oh, that's worth it right there.
Yeah, you get 2 VIP passes into that. We're kind of the kickoff party to the NHC anyway. Pretty easy to enter. You just go over to morebeer.com, click on the NHC giveaway graphic, fill out the entry form. No purchase necessary. So just go over there and do that. I think you can fill it out. You can apply once a day between now and I think April 15th I saw was the deadline. So you can enter yourself a whole bunch of times.
Wow.
I know it's a legal thing that they have to say no purchase necessary and they have to offer that. But And I know that there are people, usually like chronic, they do this all the time, where they enter these things but wwithout having purchased anything.
Yeah.
I remember because we ran something here, didn't we?
Yeah.
Who are these people? Just buy something. Come on.
I think, the good news is, especially in a little niche market like ours, all of the people that are going to hear this message already know and love More Beer anyway. They've bought something. Maybe it's not at this moment.
Right. But there will be 15 people that enter this without buying anything.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there are people that brew and would actually like go into the NHC.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, you get an extra entry. Is how it works. So if you have like a budget, let's say, of $100 a month for homebrew supplies, you can at least get 1 more entry in without having to spend the dough.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
Why? So
I don't know, 'cause I don't
it's no
understand.
purchase necessary, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless I tuned out and then came back into the middle of the conversation, which is totally possible.
Yep.
Thank you. You can you fill out the card and you mail a card in. And then that gives you another entry into the sweepstakes, right, to win the thing.
No, because in this case,
You can enter every
in
day.
this case, all they said was go fill out this form, and that's how you. There is no way to enter in another way.
Yeah.
But that was what Scott was saying was like, why the people who say like no purchase necessary, why wouldn't you purchase something?
Yeah.
But a lot of people do it both ways.
So
is
he
what I'm
says
saying.
you purchase and you get yourself an extra entry.
Right.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, buy an
But that's-
airlock. And that's your extra entry.
Right.
Something.
Well, in this case, just to be clear, so that everybody knows about this one, purchasing something does not give you an extra entry.
No, it
Correct.
doesn't.
You only get entered by filling out the form.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that's clear.
And you
But
don't,
yes,
you
that's,
don't have to buy something, but you should.
We're just talking about all of the other ways people do competition.
I just actually woke up, so I don't even really know where I am yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You're at More Beer.
Oh, shit.
You're back at More Beer.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You've been entered in the contest.
Do I have to do inventory? Because
Yes.
I'm just going to fudge it like I did every year.
Yeah, well, it is inventory day.
Oh, it's
We have some of
49.
these. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just vary that by multiples of 13, and I'm going to go take a nap in the bathroom.
Man. Like, why is JP always done in 8 minutes?
Because he's Rain
We have a
Man.
giant warehouse.
Is that Terran or is that more beer?
Yeah.
8 minutes.
Well, it certainly wasn't Terran.
There's exercises you can do.
8 minutes is a long time.
All right, so just head on over to morebeer.com and click on the big NHC Win a Trip to NHC logo, and you can enter to get over there, which will be a good time
It's
for
a
you.
rad giveaway.
good
Thousands
time.
of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our guest tonight, Kelly Taylor from Kelsey Beer Company
Hi,
out
Kelly.
of Brooklyn,
Hi.
New York. Kelsey will be phoning in here in just a little while. We're
He's
going to talk
gonna
to him
phone it
about... Kelsey's been in the business for
Kelly.
quite some time. Kelly
and
from
it's-
Kelso.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Kelly
reading-
from
I was reading
Kelso
that.
Brewing Company. That's
Dang.
it. Yeah. And Kelly's been in the business for quite some time, so that's going to be interesting to talk to him. He's helped open some of our local places, Pyramid there in Berkeley, and some places up in Washington as well. And now he's out in the East Coast. He's in Brooklyn. So we're going to learn all about Kelso Beer Company from Kelly Taylor. So hang in there for that. Another couple promos just to let you guys know about. There's a little fundraiser going on that I wanted to talk about. A listener sent this into us, and we thought it was just worth putting into our announcements. This guy writes in and says, hey, I'm helping to organize a fundraiser for a Denver-based nonprofit. It's called Salus World. I think that's how it's pronounced, Salus World, which focuses on mental health in war zones. And what they're doing is a homebrew tasting. So he says he's looking to find Denver area homebrewers and BJCP judges who'd be willing to pour their brews for the event and judge the entries. So the date is April 10th. It's in downtown Denver. You can contact the person, the organizer here. It's tgmartin000@gmail.com. That's tgmartin000@gmail.com. That's for info and to sign up. And then you can also just go check out the nonprofit at salusworld.org. That's a pretty good thing to share your homebrew for. Raise a little money for mental health in war zones.
Yeah.
I mean, mental health is bad enough over here, and we're not in a war zone, so I'm pretty sure that it's needed. This is a worthwhile cause.
Absolutely. I was listening to this podcast called Hardcore History.
Okay.
It's really fascinating, and the host is saying that the first time that the human mentality had to deal with things so frightening that it would shut down in mass is in war, like World War I, like shell shock.
Oh, right.
Stuff like that, because these cats are in the trenches for years. And when you die, you have to go to the bathroom or whatever. It just piles on and on and on, right? And that's like the first time in human history where we actually had to deal with this insane stuff, and people went mad.
Sure.
So
still going mad.
Imagine if this was happening, back then. Maybe we can get some help from some people.
Absolutely. So donate your homebrew and go to salusworld.org and check it out. It's a worthy cause.
Or if you want to help judge too.
Yeah, judging as well. They need to be judged.
You don't need help.
You're
do.
crazy.
All right, also, I am the keynote speaker at the Blue Bonnet Brew-Off this year.
Nice.
Apparently, everyone else was busy, so they kept going down the list, and it landed on me.
And you answered the phone.
I answered the phone, and so I get to go. They have been doing it for a while, so they must really have gone through everybody, and they're like, well, we got to bring somebody in new. I'm only half joking, too, because I think I might be wrong about this, but I thought I looked at the website really quick, and they were like, and last year's speaker was the same as the year before. Like, well, why don't we just ask Justin to do it?
Like the soup of the day.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that. Go to bluebonnetbrewoff.org. There's probably still tickets available to the different events that we're doing, and I'm going to have a good time there. Nate Smith is going to do the technical talk. Usually the keynote speaker does both, but let's just be honest.
Spread it around.
I'm not the person to do the technical talk. So Nate's coming out to do that. And I think Tasty might be going, too. I think there was some private donation thing that happened. They were like, well, God, bring Tasty out, too, so we can drink with him. So me, Nate, and Tasty all going to the Blue Bonnet Brew-Off. Go to bluebonnetbrewoff.org. It's in Texas, the great state of Texas. So I'm going to bring my guns.
That's what they call it.
I'm going to bring my holster and my guns. And
you should just buy some guns there, and then you leave them before you leave. I think that's what happens.
Just kind of use and throw away.
Are you going to leave your bullets at home?
I'm pretty sure you can rent them at the airport when you land.
Yeah.
You know how you can rent iPads or movies, all that. Yeah, I think you guns in Texas.
It's like a lay in Hawaii. You get off the plane and they hand
put
you
a holster over you and
welcome
walk
to Texas.
Yeah, walk that way.
Right.
So I'm going to have fun.
Good. Sounds great.
BlueBonnetBrewoff.org. Go check it out. Also, I want to remind you, the Brewing Network Club has won Club of the Year for several years, and we're in the competition again this year, but we feel that it's all about the homebrew. And so does our host club for this year's National Homebrewers Conference, Quaff. So the Brewing Network Club and Quaff are going to do some collaboration brewing together. Brewing Network Club, if you're interested in doing it, we're going to do one in San Diego. I believe that's going to be on February 28th, I want to say, something like
Saturday.
that. Let me look it up here on my calendar real quick. Yeah, one of them is going to be on February 28th, I'm pretty sure. And then the next one will be like March 7th. But email me, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. We need Brewing Network Club members that are in the San Diego area to go brew with Quaff people down there. I'm going to try to make it as well. And then we need BN members up here in the Bay Area to brew with Quaff members that are going to fly up here and brew with us. So send me an email, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. It's going to be a great thing. And then we're going to serve all this beer at NHC. So, Doc, I'd like you involved in the one up here.
Okay.
If you've
do
got
we know
the
where
time.
it's going to be?
Not yet. I keep forgetting to call Jamil. I'm hoping Heretic. So, Beardy, without giving permission, obviously, I need to call Jamil. But infrastructure-wise, is it possible to set up a few homebrew systems at Heretic and be able to brew, or is that going to be a mess?
Yeah, on the weekend.
On the weekend,
Yeah,
and
that
I
should
just
be
mean
fine.
like, is there going to be water and electricity?
Well, we actually get it cut off for the weekend.
You do,
yeah.
yeah.
That way
It
saves water.
That's
It's
a good
one of those
idea.
business things.
As
Well,
long as you
Jamil's he's kind of tight sometimes. So.
As long as you don't go towards the end of the month because you have to pay your bills in order to get your water
Right.
turned on.
Yeah.
So.
So what if we bring our own water?
If you brought your own water and a generator,
Yeah.
probably would be preferred also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a parking lot out front.
There's a parking
Yeah.
lot. So, all right. So I'm going to call Jamil this week, and hopefully it's going to be at Heretic, and that way we can
And you
have
act like this
some Heretic
gorgeous
beer.
weather's going to keep going.
I know. I sure hope so. Actually, though, Heretic has a big warehouse. There's plenty of space.
If you got enough homebrewers to
Yeah.
fill a 30-barrel system,
we could do
you
one
could bring
big...
everyone bring 20 pounds of grain, and we could just do a whole batch.
I think we can't
Sounds
because
good.
we want to serve it at the conference, and I don't think we could do that.
Because it's commercial equipment.
It wouldn't be homebrew if we did it on commercial equipment,
if
would it?
everybody brings their own grain,
If it's all homebrew, like
If
you
all
got-
the ingredients were from non-commercial people, would it be considered a homebrew?
well, that rule is for entering it in the competition. I don't know if that rule applies to just beer served at like club night.
I see.
It can't.
So-
It can't.
I know, it sounds like it, but what if that is the loophole?
We'll have to bring our own
What
water,
if-
too.
What if, like, we
I'm
just
trying to
brought a
think how
truck of
many
grain,
would-
Right.
and
what loophole can we think of?
Brewing
Brewing Network Club.
That would be
just did it.
amazing if we got if we're pouring, right, and then the story comes out, and then they ask us to leave club night.
they're like, "You're not a real. This wasn't a real."
Yeah, stop
because
it.
let's be honest, they're just looking for a reason to do that
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
That would
in
be giving
general.
them- yeah.
So, all right, send
I
me an
don't
email.
think we're going to go through 30 barrels on club night, though.
No,
Well, you're not
Although
going to NHC.
although we will try our damnedest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be there for club night, though. So.
See, that's why we're not going to
That's
go
why
to
we
30 barrels.
Yeah, 30 barrel.
Yeah.
All right, so send me an email, and then we'll try to get everybody that we can involved. It's going to be great. We're just going to collab with Quaff, and then we're gonna go to battle the two clubs and see who can win. Of course, there are other clubs involved too, but I mean, let's be honest.
The ones that matter are going to be doing this
Just the
collaboration.
two.
Yeah.
No, I don't. You never know. It's anybody can win.
You don't. That's the thing. You just never know.
You never know. I mean, we've known for 4 years, but other than that, you never know.
Other than the times we win.
You never really know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Support us by shopping on Amazon. Just click the Amazon link on our homepage. Don't just go shopping on Amazon by yourself and thinking that that's doing anything.
I
for
did
us.
it.
You're like, you told me to shop at Amazon. You got to click on the Amazon link on our homepage or save it to your favorites, and then we get a little piece of the action. A lot of you do it, and it's really helps us out a ton to stay alive around here. So thanks for doing that. And what's our Amazon product of the week?
It's
Moscow?
the Dancing Stars Legend of Zelda Triforce Symbol Necklace. It's made out of alloy, and it is the... you guys remember when Link... you'd finish a level on Zelda, and he'd lift up a piece of the Triforce, which was a triangle?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So now it's in necklace form.
Is it a lady's necklace?
Shut up.
Here.
Somebody buy that for me.
Here, let me show you.
I was just gonna who's nerdy
Have a
enough,
look at
and then
that.
there's
Showing my laptop to Justin.
I don't think that's gender specific.
oh no, it's not
No.
gender specific. That is nerdy as hell. Wow.
This does, Bevo, it does look like something
And
you
that's
would
made of
wear.
alloy?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was like, I don't even care what it's for.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Anyway,
It's a lead alloy.
I do love the old video game references. I would never wear this necklace, but I'm glad you are, so thanks for buying it.
Thank you.
You know, if all the jewelry I could wear to make myself pretty, Sam would think that is the best.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, yeah.
Which is why she's not going to wear it.
It's business
Yeah.
time.
Thank you, Lulu, for buying that. I'm sure that
Well, when she's ready to have another baby, she'll start putting. That's how we'll know. She'll start wearing like Dodgers gear and Zelda necklaces. We'll be like, "Oh, you're looking to attract Sam."
Yeah. Oh, Bez's like, yeah, I got to bail early tonight. It's Triforce night.
Someone's castle's about to get stormed.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Never say that again.
Everyone's always wanted to storm your castle. All right, subscribe and join the BN Army. You can get all these updates and more over on Twitter. And send your show ideas over to Scott the Jew. That's Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. And send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. How about we do a little feedback?
Let's do it.
Please.
Feedback's brought to you today by our good friend John over at Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com. He can protect your trademark like he protects ours. You need it. You need somebody on your side, and John's the guy to do it.
Yeah, you do, because let's face it, you don't have any friends.
That's right.
Not you.
Hey, is Tasty still here?
People.
Tasty's late.
Well, he's probably burned out from Beer Week.
Has anybody noticed that Tasty doesn't talk on the show anymore at all?
I've never noticed that.
But it used to be I know we used to joke about this all the time.
You
But,
get
but
one
he
word in here or there.
He sometimes goes a whole show without one word nowadays.
Yeah.
It's very strange. And I'll even throw him questions.
And
he'll go,
I just see a contest coming up.
the silent contest.
How many words?
Yeah.
An over-under? Like under 50 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you need to go under 4. It needs to be smaller than 50.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I guarantee nobody knew that he's not here today. And if we didn't say anything for the whole show, no one would have written in, hey, where was Tasty last week?
Right.
Well, it depends on if he posted a picture of Facebook or two
Yeah,
Facebook.
I was going to say, it would depend upon his social media outlet.
Right.
He is coming in. He was up at Russian River earlier today, and I think he's coming down. So he's just running a little late.
Whatever floats your boat, Tasty.
Coming down or driving down?
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew writes in, hey, BN, he wants to know, what constitutes a full pour at a craft beer bar? I'm happy to report, in my experience living in both Seattle and San Diego, that most places pour an honest serving of beer. However, every once in a while, you get that place that pours a standard shaker glass with 1.5 inches of head. By the time the beer makes it to my table, it's down by 25%, and I don't see a 25% discount on the bill. Shorting a pint serving by 2 ounces makes another $106 per keg at $6 a beer. He's done the math, apparently.
Wow.
I get making money, but pour a good serving of good beer, and you'll keep customers coming back and not leave them in the awkward position to ask for a top-up. So, as longtime authorities on the subject, he says, please weigh in on what constitutes a good pour. When does a customer actually have the right to complain? And he goes on a little more.
Well, if you got some room left in, you're okay about talking about it, and the waitress isn't haggard and just rushing around.
Yeah.
Although she's going to spit in it to top it up.
That's probably true. Well, I would add one other thing. Just not all shaker glasses are alike.
Maybe they're not all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, and you can tell quite easily because of usually of the thickness of the bottom. Now, there are other factors, too. Sometimes they open up a little more. But mostly it's the thickness of the bottom. So occasionally, if it's a very thin bottom, that is bigger than a pint of beer. My first recommendation would be to verify how many ounces of beer they're advertising pouring you. Not what the glass looks like or what the head looks like. Because if they're saying 16 ounces of beer, right, and it's, say, an 18-ounce glass that has a whole lot of head on it, you're getting exactly what they're telling you you're getting.
Right.
So you got to be careful about that. You can't just go by the look of it. Now, all that being equal, if they are jipping you a couple of ounces,
leave me out of this.
Yeah. I think it is your right to speak up. I also think maybe it's the bar's right to say, oh, well, we pour this beer with a nice big head on it. It's a German lager or whatever. He does say in his email that he allows for different styles. But I think it's within your rights, if they're advertising 16 ounces and you're getting 14 ounces, to politely speak up. And
sure.
Just,
Well, that's why I never leave home without a graduated cylinder. So that way I can check, keep these people honest.
You're that guy, just sitting right there, huh? Look, I'm watching you.
I'll let this slide this time.
At Uhl, they tell you exactly what you're getting, how many, and they do it in centiliters usually.
Okay.
Because they're pouring some
because we don't know.
They're pouring some strong beers too.
Yeah.
So usually they're going to be a strong beer is going to be 25 centiliters. At least you know what it's going to be. It's going to be less than what it's going to be. They have to pour less of this really strong beer.
They do.
I like the places that actually put a line.
It's actually.
I don't know. It's not a law.
I don't know if it's not a law, but it's a good practice.
Maybe.
It is. But they tell, and that's all I'm saying. If they tell you what you're getting, then they should give you what they're telling you. I think that's really the simple answer to his question. And just bearing in mind that the glass isn't always the right indicator.
Well, let me say this about motivation, because he mentioned, it's a $106 extra per keg if you're pouring like that. And I know I'm speaking for us. I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for almost every beer bar out there that is not what's motivating those pours. I mean, I watch our bartenders, and sometimes it's coming out a little hot, out of the tap. And honestly, they pour 7 ounces of beer down the drain, feathering it at that final part of the pour to try and get it as full as possible while still having a sort of presentable head. So I find it hard to believe, and this, not that this is what he's saying, but that is actually what is, like the beer bar is telling their bartenders to short the pour by 2 ounces because it's more profitable. It's just, you know how much beer is going down the drain every day?
I do think that's what he's implying, and maybe there are some like that, but I don't...
Or it's people that don't care and are just like,
don't
waste beer to try to get a good pour. Just whatever happens in the glass.
Yeah, or
serve it
they buy the wrong glass. Where, like, I went to a bar in San Jose next to the Shark Tank, and they poured me 10 ounces of beer in a glass with a Rostal line of 8 ounces. And I'm like, there's no way that the extra quarter of an inch is 2 fucking ounces, dude. You just ripped me off. And he's like, no, that's what the boss told me to do. So I left a stern Yelp review
that said, hey, I counted things in there.
So maybe it was a mistake because some of the, and it was in an Orval glass, and it was a Firestone Walker Oktoberfest. I'm like, come on. So some of those don't have the 8-ounce line, and some do. Yeah. So maybe it was just they got confused or whatever. The bartender had no idea. But it does happen there that sometimes they just pick the wrong glassware, or the owners tell the bartenders, put it in this glass with the thick bottom, and then the bartenders maybe aren't doing it on purpose.
I just say ask just to find out what's going on.
So how many ounces are you selling me? That's a good starting point. And then is this glass that, or have you poured me that? And the other thing is,
why not?
If I think that in general, Scott's right that no bars are looking to do that, so they wouldn't mind you asking about it. And the ones that would, you're probably not going to get your way anyway. They are the douchebags. Like, if they mind you asking, then they are purposefully shorting you beer, and you should probably stop going there. So, all right, there you go.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was from Andrew. Here's another one from Goose. Goose writes in, Dear BN, I sent this to your feedback because I can't find your contact link. This Memorial Day, I'll be traveling from SoCal to the Bay Area with people.
Nice.
Well, he listed like 500 people. I'm like, okay, this guy. No
did you change it?
Of course I did.
I see.
No, I edited as much as I can
with people.
Yeah,
because I always thought, okay, well, I guess that's a good qualifier.
Because he's like my dad and my cousin and my first cousin, but he used to marry some other guy, and then I took that out, and then the rest of the email didn't make any sense at all. So, All
right. So, with people. He says, our goal is to visit all the breweries that we hear you talk about and interview. So here's a few questions we have as we prepare for our 3-day trip, which is over Memorial Day weekend, keep in mind. Where's a good central area to set up home base during our 3-day visit?
Bakersfield.
I mean, that's kind of mileage-wise. That's central.
No. He wants a home base for their 3 days in the Bay Area. Where should they crash?
Not California.
Oakland. I really think Oakland because you're very close to the city. There's lots of good places in the Oakland, San Leandro area now. You can still get on a quick BART ride up to the Hop Grenade and Ool and Sonol coming this way. So I would suggest Oakland.
Because it's close to BART.
Yeah.
But if you want to go home with all the people you drove up with.
If you want your tires, your wallet.
But Walnut Creek's not as central.
It's BART.
It's also douchey.
But it's about BART. You're going to be close to BART. As long as it's close to BART, it's fine.
But you're going to spend more time on BART by being in Walnut Creek than you are.
It's not that much time. But
I think if you stay at the Marriott, like the downtown Oakland Marriott, which is right by BART, there's nothing wrong. That place is fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
You can walk at night there.
Yeah.
If you're worried about it, then I guess stay Walnut Creek. But convenience-wise...
What's the closest hotel to here? Because this is only 2 blocks from the nearest BART station.
That's true. Yeah, so if you're going to say Walnut Creek, then
here.
I'm pretty sure we have a shitty Super 8 down the road that you could stay at.
Yeah, but the Marriott probably.
Yeah.
There's a Crown Royal or something. Wait, that's...
Don't stay at Vivo.
Crown Royal.
Vivo Zip.
Yeah. That's
your and Sam's travel experience is not adequate in this conversation.
No, it's a real hotel. It's Crown something, not Crown Royal.
Crown Victoria.
The Crown
Chevy Regal.
Say it to Chivas. All right, so I'd go that downtown Marriott. All right. What else do I have here? Do you know of any events that are already being planned that we might want to include? I don't know of any. We're talking Memorial Day. We're not really doing anything here at the Grenade. I don't think we're doing shows that week. I think we'll usually take Memorial Day off. So I'm sure there are things going on. You can find it. Just use Google, I already answered the next question. Hop Grenade is not really planning anything for Memorial Day. Other than our regular awesomeness, we're going to have a bunch of good beer on tap, and you can come sit here and enjoy. And
last year, Memorial Weekend was Heretic's anniversary party.
Oh,
weekend.
Nice.
I don't know if it's going to be this year also, but last year that happened on Memorial Weekend.
So that could happen.
It's possible, yeah.
All right, well, we'll be announcing that here, I'm sure, if
Right.
it does happen, so stay tuned. Are you planning to broadcast any shows on the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of Memorial Week? I doubt it. Thanks for coming in, but I doubt it. And lastly, in your opinions, what are the top 3 Bay Area breweries to visit in person? Well,
the Rare Barrel, even though it's not technically a brewery, it's a fermentation area.
And you'll have a great experience like it was a brewery. So
Yes.
All right, Rare Barrel, 21st Amendment.
Yes.
Now,
if you can, Anchor is just
Anchor
a cool place to see.
And Russian River.
There you go. I would see. I can't even make it a top 3
No, you
because
can't.
I also want you to go
Right.
to Drake's Barrel Room. I love that place. And
Faction.
Faction, I really want you to go to that. Yeah, that's a great experience. You sit out and look at the bridge.
Roger will yell at you.
And Heretic.
Heretic, of course. Cellar Maker's a cool place to go sit.
I guess
I
maybe,
can't narrow this list down to 3 for you.
maybe the nearest to Bart for him.
Yeah.
So definitely the 2-1A.
Yeah, 2NA is pretty good there.
Don't miss Faction, though.
Yeah, Faction. And Faction is, you just take a cab or an Uber from that Marriott hotel. You're there, and it's less than $10, I think.
Yeah,
and,
it's pretty fast.
And St. George is right across the parking lot, too.
You can have some distilled spirits. So, all right, there you go. Thanks in advance from Goose. You're welcome. And he left his phone number. You want me to give out his number?
I do, yeah. Hey, if he put it in there, I mean, he wants us to have it.
And
he wants everybody to have it.
Yeah.
You want to call him right
Yeah,
now?
like,
We should have just
outgoing calls
we
to
should have
tell
called
us.
him during the whole thing. Hey,
That would be
Goose,
We should have been telling him.
hey, bro, we're just answering you. No, because then we have to go through it all again.
Dude, we'd
I'm
blow
a little
his
slow.
mind.
I didn't see that the number was on until after. I would have.
Maybe we should just call him and tell him, hey, we answered it and just wanted to tell you to listen to the show when we post it. We'd blow his mind.
Bevo, call him. Just you talk to him, though. That's all he cares about. Just
Does she have the number?
This is Bevo from the show.
I don't have the number. Email it to me.
Dial it through the
Tell her
telos.
right now over the...
It's better radio if you just make the call here.
It's 555. Are you on Skype? We'll call him at the break. You're going to call him at the break.
Okay, fine.
He's going to get a call from Bevo. His wife's going to love it. Who is
Here,
Who is this? It's Bevo.
I'll send it to her.
Who's Bevo?
It's my Allstate insurance agent.
tart over at the movie theater?
Waka waka.
I told you to stop talking to her. Oh, she changes her name, huh? I'm not that stupid.
What if we cause a divorce tonight?
I know it's her.
It would be amazing. All right.
One less people he has to bring up here.
Opens up the spot in the car.
Yeah.
You can take your little whore with you.
All right. Coat Hanger Brewing writes in, which, come on. That's too soon for everybody.
Okay.
When is the BN mobile app for Android coming back? Thanks, guys. Love the show. I didn't know it was gone. Is it gone, Jip?
Yeah, we talked about this like a month ago on the show.
And you told me it's gone?
It's gone, girl.
God damn it. How come I have this mental block about our apps? Like, I think as soon as the show's over, I swear to God, we've never had this conversation. It's very strange. All right, Ryan writes in, hi, Brewcasters and Locktar Ogre JP.
Locktar Ogar.
What is that?
It's World of Warcraft mofo.
Wow.
Yeah.
He says, I'm guessing my last email was too long, so here's the short version.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Maybe he sent one in that we either ignored or I just read one sentence and said, fuck it.
It's possible.
He says, beer good, show good, me give you money. Doc and Nate, try Salty Seaman Goes yet?
No, I haven't. It's in my beer fridge and it's right there in front.
Okay.
Is that real?
Yeah, Salty Seaman.
He says, keep up good work, suck it, Sam.
It's a sailor kind of thing.
From Ryan. And finally, hey man, we all love Nicole, but I think she abused the privilege of the microphone on the latest session. At least when Doc does it, it's funny. Just saying. Yeah, she was a little, she was having fun.
She was
She was a little having fun.
That's one of them.
All right. And how about a spam of the week?
Let's do it.
Spam of the week is back. Subject, fermenter and bright beer tank for sale.
I like dull beer tanks, personally.
Dear Mr. Kevin, good day. Have a wonderful time with your family.
Do you want to set this up before you read it? Because it makes it
Not
funnier.
really.
No? Okay.
Why? What's the setup?
Well, this is from Kevin. He runs Alibi Ale Works. It's a new brewery up in Tahoe. And he listens to the show all the time, so I know he's going to hear this. And he sent me this and was like, they try to get us to buy Chinese-made brewing equipment all the time. I get these emails all the time, and they're just funnily worded.
So he just sent us one. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, dear Kevin, good day. Have a wonderful time with your family. Okay.
Do it in Chinese accent.
No, I can't. Because it'll go to like all different accents that aren't even accents.
That's why it's funny.
It'll go back to Eastern European.
Funny that way.
This is Miki, and I have learned your name from Pro Brewer, which shows you are interested in beer, bright tank, and fermenter.
She's French. She's not Asian.
No, it's Japanese. Interesting.
We are a professional stainless steel products manufacturer with the strength of beer equipment, distillation equipment, mixing tanks, milk cooling tanks, etc. All our products have 13-month guarantee after installation, and all equipment are CE and ISO approved. Our products can deliver timely. And then she lists some prices. They're pretty cheap. A 10-barrel fermenter for $5,600. That's got to be.
That's pretty cheap.
That's got to be a fraction of the
Right? Warren? I mean, what are they, 72 usually? 8?
Yeah, I mean, that's right in the ballpark for other Chinese-made tanks. But
Yeah.
cheaper than American.
Shipping will be $3,000.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
And
gonna have,
it'll be rusty also.
Subpar welds, like the new span of the Bay Bridge.
So Miki goes on to say, if any questions or needs, feel free to ask me. I will try my best to satisfy you. Look forward to hearing from you. Let me know if you have any questions. Please don't ignore one who is always ready to serve you.
That's my favorite.
Best
That's my
regards,
favorite line.
Miki. I'm changing my email signature to that.
So basically, you're guilting people into replying to you.
Please don't ignore one who is always
Can you please
ready to serve you.
use that in your pitch to Ballast Point this week, please? I'm begging you.
Please do not ignore one. I'm going to practice all different deliveries.
I feel like this is maybe like a ruse for sex slavery or something.
Yeah. You call Miki and she's like, no fermenter.
Yeah, it's human trafficking code.
Right,
That's what this is.
How many barrels do you want?
The fermenter is full of people.
Please don't ignore one who is always ready to serve you.
Yeah.
That is a best
Guys, you've been
sign-off.
ignoring my emails all the time. We can't plan shows if no... Okay, look. Here's my new signature.
Best sign-off ever. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Kelly Taylor from Kelso Brewing Company will be on the line. We're going to learn about Brooklyn beer and all sorts of beer history for this man, too. So hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you support the Brewing Network? Do you brew your own? Are you looking for an economical, fun, and legal way to do both? Subscribe to Brew Your Own magazine and do just that. All year long, Brew Your Own will surprise you, entertain you, and educate you with articles on beer and brewing from authors like the Brewing Network's very own Jamel Zainashev and John Palmer. Each issue is a full pint of brewing techniques, homebrew stories, tips and photos, projects to make yourself, and recipes for the avid home brewer. Get your tough questions answered by Mr. Wizard and polish your style accuracy with Jamel. A portion of every subscription goes to the Brewing Network, so subscribe today at byo.com/Brewing Network, or just click the BYO logo on the Brewing Network homepage and support a fantastic hobby and your favorite broadcaster. Brew Your Own, the how-to homebrew beer magazine.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
You're tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got a lot to do tonight. Let me let you know real quick about Beersmith homebrewing software. You can go to beersmith.com right now and check it out. Why calculate by hand when you can use software to do it? And you get a free 21-day trial to make sure it's the right one for you. Available both PC and Mac. And we all love it over here. Plus, he's doing DVDs now. He did one with John Palmer, How to Brew All Grain. So if that doesn't get you excited, nice. I don't know what does. Go over to beersmith.com right now and check it out. And, JP, I forgot, as I often do, to allow you to do our Twitter game.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes. Did you...
tweet.
Do not ignore one who is always here to serve you,
right.
JP.
Yeah.
What was our Twitter game this week?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you did it.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, no. Okay, I figured it out. Well, going off the SF Sleep Week theme, because it went over pretty well here, I was asking the BN Army to let me know anything that they would like to see for next year's SF Sleep Week.
What events should be involved in
Give
SF?
me some events.
Love
what do you think's going to go on? All that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Maybe there's a sleepover at the Hop Grenade. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Pajama party at the Hop Grenade.
Pajama party. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Kelly Taylor from Kelso Brewing Company. Kelly, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Certainly.
You guys are about
No
to have
problem.
New York Beer Week, right?
Yeah, New York City Beer Week's coming up this Friday.
So we just got done with SF Beer Week, and JP here had the suggestion that maybe after every beer week should be Sleep Week. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't care whether we declare that it's going to be Sleep Week or not. That's exactly what's going to happen.
it just is what it is.
Yeah. No, we don't really sleep a whole lot out here, so we get about two days of sleep and then back to it.
All right. Well, we're going to learn about New York City Beer Week a little bit later, but I want to learn about you first. So, so you're with Kelso Beer Company. How long has Kelso been around?
I started Kelso in 2006.
Okay.
Out of a little warehouse space in Brooklyn.
Got it. Are you in the same space now?
Yep, same spot.
Okay. How many barrel brew house you got there?
It's a 30-barrel brew house, and we're fortunate enough to be able to do some contracting. We're brewing Originally, the space was built for the Heartland Brewery Group, which has 9 pubs in New York City right now.
Okay.
And then we bought some tanks and threw them in, and sharing the space with the Heartland Group. So 30-barrel brew house. There's 22 fermenters, and the total production out of there is about 20,000 barrels, which we're about half, and Heartland's about half.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. That's a lot of beer for you.
That is a lot of beer.
So I was just in New York City. I did not have your beer, unfortunately. But
why?
I don't know. Good question.
Do you remember whose beer you had?
And that's the problem. I don't remember whose it was.
You may have had a lot of beer. It might have been his beer.
It could have been, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
It was good.
But you guys out there are making great beer in general. I did not have a bad beer while I was in New York City.
Well, that's good. There was a number of years ago that there was not a lot of great locally made beers. You had to kind of look overseas or out of state, and now there's 20 breweries in the city of New York now. When I moved here from Seattle in '98, and there was 4 breweries in the city of New York.
Wow,
the city of 8 million people.
What were they like? Those 4 breweries?
Busy.
I'm sorry?
Well, I'm wondering what they were like. I mean, do you remember how the beer was, quality-wise?
Yeah, they were good. I mean, they're brew pubs. One of them was Brooklyn Brewery, of course, and that was one of the kind of the flagships of our brewing scene out here. It's kind of the anchor of our East Coast, as it were, and that's always been very solid beers. And then there was the Heartland Brewery Group, which we're brewing with right now. And those beers are great. Nice spread. You get anything from a nice hoppy IPA through a really roasty, toasty, nitro poured oatmeal stout, and then pumpkin beers during the fall. They were doing pumpkin beers in 1995. Before before people started doing pumpkin beers in July.
Yeah. Before that,
so there was a lot of really good stuff. There were some not so great breweries, and they're no longer with us, but. That's kind of what happens in the brewing world. You get a big push and you get a whole bunch of places, and then the beers kind of have to kind of hold up to the scrutiny and you need to turn the space. Especially in New York. And, you guys are in San Francisco.
Well, we are. And so
it's
space
expensive.
It is.
you got to turn the liquid if you're going to pay that kind of rent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this about the city, because you say that now there's like 20 breweries. Los Angeles, for example, as a city, is a very difficult city for brewers to open, which is why there are almost none there.
Yeah.
Is New York City pretty accommodating?
It's becoming more accommodating. The state of New York really has passed a lot of laws and loosened up a lot of regulations to allow small breweries and small wineries and distilleries to flourish. So they've done a lot of laws that are really favorable to the craft alcoholic beverage community, and that has made a lot more breweries pop up. New York City is a little tougher to try to operate a manufacturing business.
Okay,
but there are 8 million people within within like a 10 square mile footprint.
Wow. Yeah, I met most of them when I was
there. You get
there.
it going. You can fly through beer. You can vaporize beer, and the craft, the local beer scene here really has flourished over the last, I'd say, 5 years.
Okay.
I mean, local everything, beer, food, anything consumable that's made local has just blossomed in New York, and craft beer is right part of it.
That's good to see.
Who was the driving force behind changing the laws? Were you involved in that?
Well, the New York State Brewers Association, which I'm a part of, is the state kind of lobbying awareness group. We go up to Albany periodically, talk to the legislatures, and the legislatures have been listening. Part of it, I don't know which came first necessarily, but you start to show examples to politicians of successful small businesses in an economy that has been stagnant. And New York is kind of a microcosm of the United States, where it's been kind of stagnant, and they're looking for ways to get the economy moving. And you bring them an example of a flourishing economy, and give them some data. Here's what small brewers can do for the economy. Here we can buy local agriculture, we create local jobs, we redevelop urban blight, we take over farmlands that have been left unattended for decades, and we revitalize it and bring it back to life. They can't look away, and then they can use that as a shining example of. They pass some laws real quick and use it as a shining example of their success, and then they get patted on the back, and then they're looking forward to passing more laws. So it works out pretty well if you have a strong group behind you to be able to show them the light. And I don't know exactly what came first. I think there was some politicians who were listening, and they were able to get the message across. And this governor has been very, very vocal in promoting this segment of successful small business. So,
well, Kelly, when I hear you say you make brewing sound awesome, I think
brewing is awesome. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and it's the thing I love about it is it's everything business. It's art, it's science, it's business, it's politics,
it's fun,
it's passion, it's craft. It's just it's all of that, and it's a pain in the ass. And some days you go home and just go, God, why am I doing this? And then I'm sitting here right now drinking a beer at 9:45 at night on a Monday, whatever day this is. Is this a Monday? It is Monday.
It's still a Monday, yeah.
We'll never really know
lose
for sure.
track of that in the brewing world.
It's a holiday.
He doesn't make it sound funny; he makes it sound profitable.
Well, that too, yeah.
So,
which is fun,
well,
right?
It's not that profitable.
Well, right.
It's more fun than profitable.
Well, tell us a little bit about your brewing history, because you've been in the game for quite some time, and it looks like you've been kind of across the country and back.
Yeah, well, I started off in brewing in San Diego. I went to San Diego State University, and that's where you learn how to drink beer, or at least drink a lot of it. And a friend of mine introduced me to home brewing when I was 18 years old. He said, "Hey, why go try to buy beer at the was not 7-Eleven, what is it out there? Circle K, whatever it was." And he said, "Why try to go buy beer there? Why don't you just go make it?"
Yeah, forget shoulder tapping.
Go to a homebrew shop and buy the beers and buy the ingredients. And so we started doing that, and then having parties with the beer that we made, and developed a taste for it, and then decided I should probably get a job at a brewery during college, because I needed some way to offset my beer habit.
Yeah,
and
of course.
So I figured working at a brewery would do it. Got a job at Carl Strauss Breweries in downtown San Diego.
Great brewery.
And yeah, it's great. And at the time they had the Columbia and B location, and that was it.
Okay.
And then they had the sports arena complex, and so I got to work down at the brewery down there and work at the restaurant and do sales and marketing. And
did they let you straight into the brewery, or were you kind of on the fringes at that point?
I started off hosting and bartending, and then just annoying the hell out of the brewer. I was a home brewer, so and the brewer there was a deadhead, so he was always off at some dead shows on the weekends, and I just kept saying, "Hey, man." That's how you talk to deadheads. "Hey, man, I'll come in and I'll check gravities, and I'll crash tanks, and I'll clean some kegs and kind of polish everything on the weekends on my time off."
Right on, man.
Yeah, so he'd call me and just check the gravity. Okay, yeah, you're going to want to drop this temperature on this tank and make sure I have 20 kegs cleaned. And yeah, I cleaned them up and volunteered my time and gave tours, and then they had a job opening at the brewery, and I went over there a few days a week and kept my bartending job. And
nice.
That's how I got some experience. And then I moved back home up to the north of Seattle and brewed up there for a while and got some really interesting opportunities there. And
this was at a time.
I don't know how much time you had, but I have a lot of really
you do, but
weird stories.
Oh, we love weird stories. This, by the way, just so everyone knows, we're talking about like the early to mid '90s here.
Yeah,
and so you, with a little bit of experience, you probably were in pretty high demand by then. But yeah, give us some weird stories, man. Like you're talking about back at Washington or at Carl Strauss?
Yeah. Well, when I left college and wanted to move back home to Mukilteo, Washington, just north of Seattle, and an old family friend up there had a small pizza place, and he bought a bunch of brewing equipment, and he was going to put a little 5-barrel brewery in the basement of his pizza place. And then a few things happened. He wasn't able to do it. First of all, he had a son, and kind of threw off his game a little bit. And then he got elected mayor of my hometown.
Wow.
And I was up there one time during the winter break, right before I graduated, And I was lamenting. We were at a family gathering, and he was over with his family, and I was lamenting I didn't know, what to do after college. I had my degree in international business with Russian and Eastern European studies, and Eastern Europe had collapsed, and I didn't really want to speak Russian anymore. And he goes, well, I tell you what, you've been brewing, why don't you come up here? I don't have time to put my brewery together. I have all this stainless steel in my basement. All these tanks that I had built. I don't have time to put it together. Why don't you come up and put it together for me? I don't have any money because I just spent it all on my campaign, but you can have pizza and beer all summer long for free. And a reference from the mayor if you put this together. So I was like, all right. So my dad lived across the street, so I went up there after college and built this brewery for this guy, for the mayor of my hometown.
How did you know how to do that?
Well, I'd worked in, I was a home brewer, and I was a tinkerer, and I'd worked in breweries. I knew how everything was kind of laid out. And
then you spoke Russian, too.
And I spoke Russian, which is extremely unhandy.
The manual was in Chinese, but
it's about as handy now as it was then.
Yeah. Well, now you can work for PBR.
That's true.
Yeah. So, put the whole thing together and brewed a bunch of beers, and then took a year off and went to Europe.
To speak Russian?
No, just I kind of hung out in Italy and tried to learn Italian.
Beautiful. Did you gain like 40 pounds that summer with the pizza and the beer? I know that's all you were.
No, I was like 23.
You can do anything.
It doesn't matter. You breathe that stuff. It doesn't matter.
Right.
At this point, I'm gaining 20 pounds just thinking about it.
Did you do any beer stuff around Italy? Was there anything? I know that the craft there was a little late to bloom. It's still blooming now. It's really popping now out there. Yeah.
But when I was out there, it was really looking at the bigger breweries in Italy, Germany. Got really into some of the Bavarian beers, the Hefeweizens and things like that you could get, because I was in northern Italy and Milan mostly. So,
okay, yeah.
But really, it was a lot of the Doppio Maltos and just a lot of beers. I don't know what the name of the brewery was, but I was having some of those and wines and hashish.
Sure.
Milan.
Things you do after college, man. Of course.
That's a liqueur, right?
I've heard of that beer.
Yeah. It's an aperitif.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was, that was really interesting. Just kind of traveling around and checking out all the different ways that beer was served and treated in culture. There's like one of the common things in Germany. Germany's real strict laws and all this stuff. And what I thought was really funny is we'd go get our cases of Paulaner or Schneider at the gas station.
Oh yeah,
you go to the gas station and they're just like, that's where you change in your bottles and you get your new case.
Oh yeah, you had to bring your old. I remember that too from when I was there. You got to bring in a case of bottles to get a case of bottles.
Do you? It's just funny.
How do you start getting beer?
You don't.
You know somebody?
No, you mug the kid who's on the way in with his case of bottles.
I think your grandfather did. Like your grandpa dies and he leaves you
his bottles.
Right.
So you're literally grandfather.
Someone's got to die.
When you're born, they give you a case of bottles.
Yes.
You have to keep it.
Oh yeah, that's a birthright in Germany.
Yeah, it's like a social security number.
Fresh,
that's right.
Fresh Paulaner is fantastic beer.
Well, that was actually some things that I learned traveling around in Europe was, especially in England. I went up to England and just trying all these cask ales that I had kind of disparaged a little bit, being from the West Coast. Because by the time a cask ale from England gets to the West Coast, you really shouldn't be drinking it, I think. It's such a, they call it live, but it's such a delicate, nuanced product that it just doesn't travel well. You wouldn't send a loaf of bread that was baked in England in the morning to Seattle. I mean, it wouldn't work.
You're right.
And realistically, the unless you're getting a firkin or a cask or something right off the boat, right off the plane. You put it on the boat, it's dead. You put it on the plane. So I was going into England and doing these ales, these cask ales, left to right. There's 10 of them on a bar, just hit me left to right. And they're like 3.5% alcohol, so it's not that big a deal. But some of the English guys I was with said, "Man, you're a real beer bastard, aren't you?" So when I came back to the country, I started a little club called the Beer Bastards.
Yeah.
And we have a small group of us up in the Seattle area that are still
not loyal
still
to a brand.
No, just loyal to the freshness of the product, and and that's something that I try to preach wherever I go. People say, hey, what's your favorite beer? I'm like, man, drink the beer that's made down the street.
Yeah.
Because that stuff has the potential. It's not always the best, but it has the potential to be the most interesting.
Sure. I don't. So none of us here would disagree with that, and I do like your comparison about.
Thank God.
Yeah. Hey, that's bullshit, Kelly.
Screw you. Click.
None of us here would disagree with that. I would say I do like your comparison that no one would ask for a loaf of bread that was made this morning to be shipped across the world. However, the one difference is. There's no demand for a loaf of bread like there is for beer that we haven't tried. So I guess I'm just I feel like the reason that we still do this and the reason that we all still try it and get the beer out there is because we're just still have such a desire for different beer that we don't care. Maybe it's not going to be that great. I got to taste it anyway. You know what I mean? So it's almost counterintuitive.
I know what you mean, but it's just not gonna. It just doesn't work.
It's never gonna work.
If you want to try it, go there and get it because it's just you're not doing it justice.
Yeah,
really by shipping it that far and keep it and realistically when you're doing that, you're shipping at those distances. you need to have a distribution chain and an inventory level and a sales force to turn the product. And if it's just not turning, I have Lagunitas out here that is not doing that product well, and they have a good distribution chain out here, but it gets a little oversaturated. I've had Lagunitas out there on the West Coast, and it's just a much different beer.
Yeah,
the IPA, it's just a much different beer out there than it is here, and we're talking, one continent with a pretty concise distribution chain and a market that turns it pretty well. But to fill the pipeline, you need to have a lot of beer in it. And it doesn't always work. That's why Sierra Nevada and
Stone,
New Belgium are
Belgium,
building breweries out here because they know it doesn't work to just send it all the way across the country.
Sure.
And it's not cost effective and it doesn't do the product justice.
You guys think that demand might go down for that? There is always going to be a market for long distance traveled beers, but you guys think that the demand might go down as more and more local options open, and you have this crazy variety right at your fingertips, like all made within your town? And I want to try lots of different beers, and I can get them all from this state.
I think it already has.
Well, especially if it's the type of beer. We don't necessarily want to try a beer. We want to try a type of beer, like cask ales.
Yeah.
I guess English friends that just love cask ales, and you try them, and we're not going to get anything like you could in an English pub.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think literally the demand has already gone down because of more local breweries, and I think that's only going to continue to happen.
And with cask, there are cask breweries opening up, like McLeod and Freewheel.
Oh, that was great cask beer, too.
They're doing great beers, and I hear stories from them and from other people about people coming over from England and just being so excited to get good cask beer here in the U.S. because it's not going to make the trip over.
Good, more Brits. That's what we need in this country.
We kicked them out.
I think
200 years ago.
that the demand, it's kind of a funny thing because the more people that are into beer, the more we take away from piss beer. You know what I mean? So you look at a number of years ago when the craft beer segment hit 10% of the market. It was like 4 years ago or something. And now we're talking, we could hit 20%, and we could hit 30%. And a lot of that's because people start recognizing that local beer is better. I always use my stepfather as an example. He's a truck driver and very blue collar and a little off color.
Does he know you use him as an example?
I use him as an example of he really is, he just drinks Budweiser which is fine, but then I start saying, but everything for him is about supporting, American-made products and American-made things and American-made cars and Chevys and the whole thing. And I say, well, what's more American-made than the beer made down the street by this guy that you're delivering gas to? You're bringing this guy gas. He's making beer, and he's got a light beer.
Right.
Drink that. It is made with ingredients grown over here on the other side of the state.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, so a lot of this stuff is coming. It's uber local, and you know, so people have to start thinking a little bit differently about the macro beers and the benefits of the macro beers, and they are. People are starting to recognize that I'm going to drink locally. And so I think that you see ebbs and flows in the local segment. Like my beer will that I'm distributing up and down the 95 corridor from Connecticut down to Philadelphia. More breweries in Philadelphia, the less my beer sells. Sort of, except for that more local places start serving more local beers and start serving more craft beers, but then they want variety because there's only so many craft beers you can get in your neighborhood, and then start reaching out to other breweries in the region. So, you know, it's kind of, there's an ebb and flow because the more places that open up, the more craft beer is going to be in those places, the more room there is for craft beer. So I think that approaching 20% of the market, I don't think that we're really going to start cannibalizing on each other until we start getting to 50% of the market. And I think that's doable in the next 5 years.
Have you broken the news to your stepdad that AB is Belgian?
Well, you know, when we have conversations, it's more my mom leaves the room, and it's it's really it's a really uncomfortable situation.
It's weird
because you know I don't even go to the Belgian point. I just jump right to Brazil. It's like, you know, InBev is owned by a Brazilian conglomerate.
He doesn't want to hear it.
Is it Brazil? I thought it was Belgium.
I don't want to hear it, Kelly. Get me a Budweiser and shut up.
I don't want to fuss over it. Fuck you.
Yeah. Hey, Kelly, let me ask you, just talking about the market share. I sat on this, I was on a panel during SF Beer Week. I was lucky enough to be able to listen to Pete Schlossberg, who
I know Pete, yeah.
Yes, he started Pete's Wicked Ale, and he's real smart on the business side of things.
Yeah, I met him down at Karl Strauss a number of years ago.
He's a huge fan of beer, but he's a fan of business. And the question was asked to us on the panel: when will it stop? How much market share will craft beer end up getting? And some people on the panel thought, you know, it's infinite. But Pete brought up this point. He said, I'm just going to tell you about other industries. Because after the beer thing, he started a chocolate company. I think there was another. And so he said, I did a lot of research about these type of things. And they pretty much all max out at 40%. And he wasn't at 40%. He wasn't making a distinction between craft beer and chocolate or anything. He just was saying, "I'm telling you that historically, the numbers show that the market becomes saturated with these type of products at 40%." And some of the people on the panel were very upset to hear this number. But I thought he brought up a pretty good point because you have to take the whole of the country into account. Anyhow, I just wonder what you think about that number. I'm asking.
Well, you know, I quite honestly, I pulled 50% out of my ass because it sounds like a nice number, but
it's probably uncomfortable.
That sounds better.
50, you know, it's very very populist. It doesn't really matter. But I think that if you did the research and if those numbers seem to make sense, I think that seems to be reasonable because I think most people are gonna. I mean, you look at the commercials on TV now, and most of it is stuff that I would never consume.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that you go in the grocery stores and you see massive walls of Wonder Bread and very small sections of whole grain oat rolled bread kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you go in there and it's less than half pretty easily.
And I think those are the types of things.
So I think that sounds reasonable, you know. But I haven't really done the research on it. I just, you know, I think that there's going to be a tremendous. I mean, could craft beer double, and then how long is that going to take? I think it could double. I think there's plenty of room for it. And just for example, carrying capacity. When I left Seattle in '98, there was 35 breweries in the city of Seattle, and the city of Seattle had 1.5 million people.
Wow!
In the city, not just the surrounding areas, but in the city.
Okay.
And so there's 35 breweries, 1.5 million people. When I came to New York, there was 4. For 8 million people.
For 8 million, right.
8 million. And now we're at 20.
Amazing. Yeah.
For still relatively 8 million because we can't really get much more people into this rock. And so, you know, realistically, we should have like 150 breweries or something
in
the city of New York. So, you know, so there's still a lot of room I think Seattle now still has about 35 to 40 breweries in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's still plenty of room. I'd never heard anybody put a number on it. And of course, he wasn't saying this is fact. He's just saying I'm just what the other industries did. But I also thought, he it just kind of brings up the point as craft beer does get bigger, when we get to 20%, it's the amount of growth, the amount of people that we have to take over. It keeps doubling, right? Like it keeps going bigger and bigger. So you have to think about the massive amount of growth it is to get from 20 to 40%. Is so much bigger than it's taken us to go from 1 to 10, right?
Right, sure.
It's just enormous.
Well, one thing we never really talk about is, there's breweries.
I didn't realize there would be an economics quiz.
Well, no, you will be quizzed at the end of the interview.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We're sharp
a little
around
bit less
here.
beer at this point.
Yeah.
What we never talk about is how many breweries close down in an area. So we always talk about how many breweries open and open and open, and we got so many breweries opening, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the number of breweries in existence goes up, because a lot of them go out of business too. So does that mean that the market isn't necessarily stable enough to support the doubling of craft beer?
Well, right now the number is still going up, but you're right. At the one point when you get
closing down, also, so like
but
14
the number's
breweries
still going up,
right? But there's that. You know what I mean? It's not as huge of a growth as it seems, because we never talk about the closings.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's maybe hitting that high water mark.
Now, I think,
You know what's unfortunate is I've been trying to book a brewery that has failed for the last probably year or so. I've reached out to a few of them that have gone under, and no one is willing to talk about it.
Well, I'm not entirely surprised.
I'm not surprised either.
It's like you're kicking a dead dog.
I know, and I try to be really delicate about it, but I think it would be. It would make, because you're right, we do nothing but blow smoke up the rear end of craft beer for good reason. I mean, it's going gangbusters, but I would like to hear, and I think everybody would.
What went wrong?
Yeah.
Why you fucked up?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Did anybody read the Craft Beer Revolution, Steve Hindy's book?
No.
One of my colleague across town, Steve Hindy, president of Brooklyn Brewery, wrote a book called The Craft Beer Revolution, and it was really interesting because he talked about the origins of the modern craft beer, and with Anchor and New Belgium and all these guys, and he brought in a lot of stories about people that failed.
Oh yeah,
what they did and how it didn't work, and how they got overextended, or they didn't look at this, they didn't look at that, or they just they had artistic ideals, and they thought everybody would follow.
Sure.
And they didn't make the right investments in this and that and the other thing. And he doesn't make any judgments. He just says, these guys tried and it didn't work.
Right.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes you just need luck.
Well, we should bring Steve Hindy in. We've had Garrett Oliver on the program. Maybe we should bring in Steve to answer those questions you have, Scott.
Yes.
Garrett, you know what? You give that guy a microphone and he's amazing.
No.
Yeah. So we had a great time with Garrett. Hey, let me do Kelly. I got to take a break. We're going to take a little commercial break, and then I want to come back and talk a little bit more about your history, but I also want to talk about your beer. All right. So you can teach us some about beer. Are you down to hang out for a few minutes?
I can do that.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we've got Kelly Taylor. He's from Kelso Beer Company with us, so we'll talk more beer and more good stuff when we get back. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we
first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls.
Marquis, stop. Look!
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
BN Army, I'm here to talk seriously for a second. You all are partially responsible for something explosive, and it's time you answer for it.
Moonlight Meadery is exploding.
Yeah, exploding across the country. Wait, they just landed in Australia with insane quality meads.
With nearly 70 different varieties of mead on the market, Moonlight Meadery has blown up the mead category and completely reinvented it.
Seriously? What? Seriously? What? You're paying money for that watered-down mead when you could have a Moonlight mead?
Moonlight meads explode with quality and flavor.
They're a party in a bottle. Did someone say party?
If you want mead and want the best, you want meads from Moonlight Meadery and will accept nothing less.
And now get 15% off by going to moonlightmeadery.com/BNArmy and use coupon code BNArmy at checkout.
Hey, sign me up for that party.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contract, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a home brew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Brewcasters are back.
888-401 beer.
Whatever.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You can go to kelsobeer.com right now and talk to and see Kelly Taylor's beers over at Kelso Beer Company. We're talking to Kelly, and he's from Brooklyn, New York, or at least that's where the brewery's from. And we're going to start talking about some of his beers. You still with us, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm looking at your website right now, kelsobeer.com, and it looks like you have a pretty nice lineup. And, one thing that stands out to me right away is a nut brown lager. Tell me about that beer.
Yeah, well, that was our original. That was our flagship.
Okay.
And it's actually a kind of a question we have sometimes is, what is your flagship beer? And
sure.
I think the flagship isn't necessarily the number one seller. It's the beer you think best embodies your brand, and that'd be our nut brown lager.
Is that one that came over from even your homebrew side with you, or?
Well, kind of. It was when we were discussing. My wife and I. Sonia is my wife, so it's Kelly and Sonia Kelso.
Okay.
And we were in the backyard of a pub in Brooklyn, and we were drinking a double IPA from West Coast Brewery, and and we're thinking, wow, this is really strong, and I like it, but there's no other real. I just want a nice beer, and I don't want it to be overly hopped. I just want something nice and fresh and local, and malty and interesting, and so we started kind of looking at different beers that were available, and my wife goes, we should do a nut brown, but make it a lager instead of an ale. So effectively a German Dunkel, but with American malts and American hops. And
sounds like a great idea to me.
Yeah, just something to fill out, because everything was either like a Pilsner or an IPA,
Yeah.
and we're just like, so something different. So we did the nut brown lager, and it was trying to get into a lot of the food places in New York, the pizza places, the Italian foods and the steak houses and all the things that make New York foods, kind of the infrastructure of New York food. There's like, they should all have this on tap.
Yes.
And
good idea again.
Yeah. And it was just the one that one beer, and that's what we did. We used some. It was a hybrid of a German Dunkel and kind of an American brown ale, but with lager yeast, and it was just nice and toasty and caramely with a nice kiss of Willamette hops at the end, and then gives it a little bit more earthiness and spiciness, and then just really clean, dry lager finish. And it was influenced. A lot of my brews were influenced by Thomas Kemper Brewery up in Seattle, which was ultimately absorbed by Pyramid. Which is where Sonia and I met. It was at Pyramid Breweries in Seattle, across from then the Kingdome. And so a lot of those beers were lagers, and dark lagers were the really interesting ones. Toasty and malty and rich and robust, but clean and bone dry. You have a glass of it and you go, wait a minute, I better have another one of those. I don't even know what happened.
Right.
Before you know it, you have 4 of them.
Can you tell us any specifics about the malt bill? And I'm also curious if you have to change it a little bit. If it were a nut brown ale, did you have to add or leave something out to make it a nut brown lager? Things like that.
Well, I kind of did. What do you think? I kind of did a Dunkel malt bill, a Pilsner, Karamunic, 60, Melanoidin. The trick was the balance of the Karamunic 60 and the Melanoidin, because they use the Melanoidin malt, which gives it that kind of almost a tinniness.
Okay.
And it needs to be in there to give that Dunkel, because the Dunkels, they use the decoction brewing, which gives it a little bit of that kind of burned caramel, almost, and it gives it a kind of a metallic.
The process gives it melanoidin if you do the decoction, right?
Okay. So when I use the melanoidin malt, it simulates that, and you need to kind of balance that out. And then really it was the play of that melanoidin character off the Hallertau / Willamette late hopping that we did. So you get that German influence, and then the Pacific Northwest ale influence. And
Willamette's a great hop too.
It's a great hop, and I've been using that for 20 some odd years. I used to grow that in my backyard. And
are you still using the stuff from your backyard?
No,
you're growing different things in your backyard.
I just replanted now in New York. I have Cascades and Columbus growing in my backyard.
Okay.
So.
We've actually been reading about the New York hops scene, or hops growing scene, kind of on the rebound. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Well, we've been a very big part in pushing for that. We went up to Albany, and I think it was 2005 or 2006, as a state brewers association, trying to get some government loans or government grants for infrastructure for small farmers to help them get the specialized equipment they need to harvest hops, because it is very specialized. It's not like everybody's got kind of a barley grain equipment, but hops are a very specialized thing. So we went to them saying, hey, there was a collection of 100. At the time, it was 100 breweries. Now there's over 160 breweries in New York State.
Wow.
And at the time, there was 100, and we were all willing to sign contracts for hops grown in New York State.
Okay.
So we could guarantee a production and level. So the state started issuing assistance to small farmers for these things. And then
Excellent.
Cornell University has been very, very, very pro small farms and small hop farms in particular. They started the Northeast Hop Alliance, so they're a big part of the Northeast Hop Alliance. So there's a lot of, yes, I'm very familiar with a lot of the organizations involved in the resurgence from 100 years ago when New York State used to be the leading hop supplier to the country.
What varieties will do well in New York?
Well, pretty much anything that grows in the Willamette Valley will do well here. Oddly enough, the brutally cold winters don't seem to matter too much. It's the long days during the summertime, and we've got that here, and we've got a good growing climate. So,
got it.
The interesting thing is right now that you can get New York State grown Cascades and Willamettes and Chinooks and things like that. They just don't taste the same as they do on the West Coast. Not meaning they don't taste better or worse. They just taste different. So
okay.
I'm starting a movement. I'm trying to start a movement where we just rename them.
Oh yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
I was just thinking the same thing. Just rename them.
Yeah, tea plant is a tea plant. Coffee plant's a coffee plant. It doesn't matter. Just it varies on where it grows.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right.
What are the differences?
Well, Cascades are a striking example because the Cascades out here are very, very earthy and kind of minerally and have kind of a richness to them. Whereas on the West Coast, they're very bright and citrusy and tangy and acidic, so it just doesn't taste like the same thing.
So, we could have Kellyade.
Yeah.
Calamit.
Calamit.
Yeah. That's
Columbus.
a good idea. I'll put that in the bill.
Just name after, yeah. You're working on it, so you got to get something out of this, Kelly.
Clitra. Oh, no, wait.
No, don't do that one.
No, okay.
Shkelly.
All right, another beer that I'm looking at on your page here that I want to know about is a beer that you call Industrial IPA. Tell me about that.
Yeah, the Industrial IPA. So that's our Imperial IPA. There's another name for Imperial, and that'd be kind of the inner city word for Imperial would be Industrial.
Okay. I'm buying it. Yeah.
It's a big, bold. Imperial IPA, lots of hops in the whirlpool and dry hopping, and it's about 10 to 11% alcohol, depending on the moon cycle that we're brewing in. And
interesting
for you California people.
Yeah.
Says the deadhead, right?
I understood everything you said when you added the moon cycle.
Yeah, I know. I lived there for a while.
It all makes sense.
Do your cakes come with star charts or not? Because I don't.
Yeah, some of them do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, it's like the golden ticket.
What kind of yeast do you use in the Industrial IPA? Are you
most of our ales we use Chico.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, nice and easy, simple.
Yeah,
easy to work with, and gives a nice, not negligent but clean ester profile. Very, very easy to work with.
What do you use for the lagers?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
No, that was a secret.
Chico.
That's Chico.
No,
Chico.
No, we
cold.
Actually, we use the Pilsen. I think it's we use White Labs for most of our stuff, and it's like they have a 800 Pilsen.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's pretty clean. Yeah.
How about Recessionator? Now, this is in your seasonal and limited release lineup here. This beer looks fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that was one we did a number of years ago when we were in the heart of the recession, and the Germans have a saying about a good double bock. You don't know the strength of a good double bock till you try to get up from the bar.
Okay.
And we're like, you know what? We need that in a recession because you just want to go somewhere and all of a sudden you kind of forget what you're doing.
Absolutely. That's exactly.
And you don't know what
need.
happened to you. So we did this dark lager, and it was kind of like the Nut Brown lager on steroids. We just upped the caramel malt, the Cara Munich, and just used all dark Munich malts and just made this a nice, big, chewy, rum raisiny, rich thing, and then just finished it nice and dry with this same Czech lager yeast.
But you did some English in there, too. Like I'm looking at Vienna and
right. We used a little bit of Maris Otter
and
some Fuggles for the hopping component. 'Cause we just, we don't really do anything true to style. We just take everything and tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's got some different structure to it, and thanks for reminding me. I forgot we used Maris Otter and the Recessionator. So it's just got this really nice richness to it, but it still finishes nice and bone dry on the palate. And you don't get a lot of fresh double box in the United States, and a lot of times you get them from Europe, and again, they've just, I don't know how long they've been sitting around.
Right. It's
and it just doesn't taste right, and that's something I got inspired by in Germany, was having some of these just like, whoa, this is a whole different program than I was used to.
If the picture of this beer on your website,
that's the beer too.
It is literally, it is one of the most appetizing beers I've ever seen a photo of in my life. And there's nothing fancy behind it. It is not in a field of lilies.
No, it's just in a pint glass.
It's in a pint glass with a white background, but the beer itself looks like you had to have photoshopped this beer. It looks amazing.
Well, it looks like a 15.5-ounce glass. I don't know.
What's with all the headbands?
He did a spectacular job with the lighting on that.
It's
all those beers. That looks like the beer.
Lighting glass is so hard,
great.
And lighting beer is even harder. It's tough.
Taking a picture of beer is really hard to get the head right.
Yeah.
So one of my co-hosts, Doc, here, the Doppelbock is one of his favorite styles to brew, and partly, Doc, probably because of like what Kelly's saying, we don't really get fresh ones here.
No.
You do a decoction sometimes when you do yours.
Always.
You always do a decoction.
Yeah. Double or triple. Depends on what I'm doing.
Depends on who's there.
She'll probably kick my butt on that, but because we just have an infusion system. But I try to use most of the malts I use in that are really putting the character forward. I'm getting from Weyermann, and their malts are spectacular.
They are,
and I think you can do a really nice double bock, and then again I'm throwing in the Maris Otters and some different kinds of hops to change the character of it a little bit. I'm not trying to do anything true to style.
Okay.
But what I want is really nice German malt influenced, dark, kind of rummy, toasty lager that's clean and smooth, and it's just. It's great. It's a tasty beer. So.
I love the idea of some Maris Otter in there, Doc. What do you think?
Yeah.
It seems to fit, even though it's typically English.
Are you using the same base malt for both the lagers and the ales? Is that why you kind of use some English pale malts to kind of build the body?
No.
No?
Okay. No.
Nah.
And, our IPA, which is a Nelson Sauvin hopped IPA, we're using Golden Promise from Scotland. Really nice, bright, fragrant, floral thing. A lot of our ales that we're doing are pale ale. What else? I think the industrial we're using Golden Promise too, but we're using a lot of RAR Turo. Most of our lagers are a base of the Weyermann Bohemian Pilsner, which has got a little bit more kind of a malt forward character to it than your standard Pilsner does. We've tried using Best Pills and even regular Weyermann Pills, and they just come out too clean. We want to have a little bit more malt forward character to them, but we changed it up. I think the base malt, of course, is the kind of the cornerstone of the beer, and it makes a tremendous difference what that base malt is.
At your guys' size, that's a lot of base malts to be juggling. Do you have a bunch of small silos, or is it all stacked?
Well, no, our main silo, because most of the Heartland Brewery Group uses the RAR Turo because they want to use American base malts. But we do juggle a lot of base malts. But our brew size our brew length is 30 barrels. So the nice thing is we can order pallets of malt. A 2,000-pound pallet is about right for
so you're touching a lot of sacks.
A lot of sacks. Yeah.
Was that?
You're touching a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Right.
I love that you're taking a lot of classic styles and kind of sticking to it, but adding your own touch into it in most of the cases.
We want to. There's a lot of breweries that are doing, and I don't fault this. It's just not my thing. they're just trying to like create new styles.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this thing and they wind up tasting a lot like, tasting a lot like the homebrews that just don't quite work.
Absolutely.
There's homebrews that work, and I judge a lot of homebrew competitions. There's homebrews that work, and there's homebrews that don't. And the ones that don't, there's competing flavors. Is what happens is it winds up not being a finished product. It winds up being a product that is still kind of an R&D phase.
Yeah.
And so what we like doing is kind of taking a style idea and what is it about that style that we like, and taking that and then saying, okay, let's just not use these standard ingredients for that style and just kind of mix it up a little bit. So we'll do, a Doppelbock with a little bit of English ale influence, and we'll do a Pilsner, but with a non-noble hop.
Right.
Why does everybody do a Pilsner with a noble hop? It's annoying.
Just want something else.
You know how many hops there are out there in the world?
Yeah, but on the East Coast we love it, or the West Coast we love it because we don't get much of that. I'm sure over there you guys get a ton of that stuff, but over here it's rare.
To get good pilsners at all.
To get a pilsner with a noble hop. Everyone over here is doing like IPLs.
Get it away from me. Stop it. I don't know. I don't like size. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I drool over it right now. It's like, oh my God, finally, we're by Pivo Pills from Firestone Walker, if you've never had it. It's a good classic representation of a German Pils, and it's been so long since we've had anything like that because everyone wants to put their own spin on it, or they don't use the right yeast or whatever.
Right. It's interesting.
Yeah.
This is a great rule of thumb Kelly brings up. No competing flavors. This is why I don't get down generally with the sour porters and stouts, as they can be well done for what they are, but you're ultimately trying to make something work that doesn't.
Yeah.
Sour and roasty, they compete. Hello.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting you mentioned the sours because
sour and bitter too.
We're doing some sours now, and what I've tried a lot of sours over the years, and I like sour beers, and they need structure behind them. And there's so many sours in the market that just are sour, and that's it.
Yep.
There's nothing behind it. Might as well be sucking on a Jolly Rancher or something, and it just to me it's uninteresting. It's like, yeah, great. So you use sour to beer, super. Now, can you lend structure to it? Can you give it some depth? Can you give it that extra turn? And that's what we're looking for in every one of our beers is that extra turn. What extra is in there? So our Pilsner, we use the Weyermann Bohemian Pilsner malt for a little bit more malt structure. And then we use a Sterling hop. And the Sterling hop's got a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of that Czech sauce spiciness, but it's kind of a structured, layered thing. And it always gives people a turn. They're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for, is just that one extra turn, because that is the subtlety that makes it interesting. And a lot of those sours, and I love going to the GABF and just seeing those lines at the sours, and I can go, if I'm working there, I can go behind the line and get a beer, skip that. But it's always like, well, yeah, great. That's not interesting to me.
I agree. They can just be offensive and one-sided.
Just one-sided. This one-sided is boring, and the fact that there's a line makes it offensive to me. It's like, come on.
I feel the same about IPAs.
You mentioned Sterling, and it's one of my favorite hops. It's close to a Saz, but it's not as spicy and in your face.
Yeah, it's not as sharp. Yeah, it's not as in your face. It's got a little bit more structure to it.
Right.
And really, the fruitiness of it lends itself more to malt. The Saz kind of pulls away from the malt a little bit. But the fruitiness of the Sterling kind of blends it into the malt, so you get this transition on your palate, which I think is really, really interesting.
It's a nice transition hop to go to. You want if you like Saz, but it does. It's sharp. It's going to accentuate the hops more.
Yeah.
Where the Sterling has a lot of the kind of characteristics of the Saz, but it's got
softer.
It's softer. It's got it's got something that's going to bring more maltiness to it.
Okay.
Right.
But
exactly.
It's kind of like two cousins that look similar.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right.
And they
so
cook you out.
You're not
But could
really,
still get
you're
married.
not really
Right.
stepping out, and you're not going to end
No,
up
you
doing.
just want to slap one of them and take
And tickle
I
the
got
other
it.
Like you understand Doc better than we do, Kelly.
No,
Kissing
it was
cousins.
simpatico.
I think we found a handler for if we go to New York.
Well, Pilsner brewers, put that in your tool belt then, homebrewers. Try out that hop.
Figuratively.
It's very
Yes.
close
Yes.
to where you're not doing what JP was saying, where you're going to experiment way out there, homebrew style, and not what Kelly was saying. You got this thing that isn't quite there.
Okay.
You stepped out a little bit too far.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't blend
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
well. So when you're just doing that, and Sterling's a really good cross.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You know, when I was homebrewing, I remember one of my best friends many years ago. We were homebrewing together, and we were cooking up a batch of porter on the counter in my mom's house, and I look over and I see a big chunk of chocolate cake sitting there. I just threw it into the freaking boil.
Why not?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just threw that in there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. See what happens."
And it was a lager.
Yeah. It was like, well, I don't know. I guess it tasted kind of like chocolate cake. And it was a porter, so it was already chocolate cakey. But
didn't hurt.
Right.
Just
Turn my Pilsner
just
into a
the look on his
Schwarzbier.
eyes, and he still brings that up every time I see him. He's like, I can't believe you went from chocolate cake to this.
Do you think that the fact that you have people that are buying your beer, does that help you kind of dial in recipes and make them a little cleaner or kind of focus the flavors, where as a home brewer we don't really have that? So maybe we brew once every other month, so we brew this porter and we go, this is fine, it's 80% there, but I don't have time to brew it again and focus it down because I only get one more batch of beer before my kid is born or some shit like that.
Yeah. Well, I when I started home brewing, I was in a fraternity in college, so I in the fraternity was not able to buy beer with chapter funds. It was
shameful.
It was a thing.
Was it
yeah,
something
well,
that
they
happened in
were,
their
and then there was
past?
like this lawsuit with
Okay.
somebody. Not our chapter, but the national chapter. So they said, okay, you can't brew beer with chapter funds.
You can try
so
lambs.
I was the treasurer of the chapter at the time, so I said, well, how about if we just make home brews? We can buy malts and hops on chapter funds. And it was like, well, I guess we can do that. So
They were like, you, sir, are a genius.
kind of, yeah. So we
Brother
had a Unity
Kelly.
Day where we would all get together, and we in the fraternity house, and we'd have about 8 different homebrews going at the same time, and I'd run around and tell everybody what to do, and we'd all make different beers, and then about a month later, we'd have a party and drink them all.
Yeah.
And so I got to do an enormous amount of home brewing and
cool.
experimentation and variation. Okay, you're going to use this hop. You're going to use this hop. You're going to use this yeast. You're going to use this yeast. You're going to change this paste malt. So every time I did it, I was just changing variables left and right and marking all the kegs. And so I learned a tremendous amount about what the different hops do at different additions, what the different yeasts do at different temperatures, and just all these different things. It was really kind of a ridiculous R&D.
That's a
thing
great with your
for-
minions and everything. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
On the
I had
chapter's
minions,
dime.
and a lot of those guys are professional brewers now, which is funny.
Oh, that's awesome. That's even better.
And all the
Yeah.
beer got drank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the beer guys. Well, the problem with that was they were all used to drinking Natty Light. So we'd go and make the thing, and then we'd go do the party, and half the guys would be passed out by 8 o'clock.
There you go. Then all
So
the
like,
sorority
what happened
sisters
to that?
are
I'm
for
like,
you.
well, it's 7% alcohol. It's like twice what you used to.
Yeah. Like, what else are you putting in there? You roofied us, didn't you, Kelly?
Yeah.
I swear, man, it was just high alcohol beer.
Yeah, that's right.
You taped yourself
Only
to the
it ended
flagpole.
with the pass out. There was no other funny story with the guy
Right.
with the Greek name.
Literally just a
couldn't pronounce
everyone asleep with their shoes on. It was a pass out.
Yeah. And some cat named Stavros is walking around going, perfect.
Yeah, it's excellent.
All right, just before we run out of time, and I do want to talk about Beer Week also. So quickly, I see that you also have a wit, and we don't see good wits around too often in craft beer either. So I wanted just to give you a chance to talk about that one. That looks like a great beer as well.
Yeah, that's a beer we do during the summertime, and we name it after a region in in Brooklyn, a neighborhood in Brooklyn called Carroll Gardens.
Okay.
So we call it the Carroll Garden Wit,
Nice.
and kind of spell it like Hogarden and kind of play off that whole thing. But that's a real lemon peel forward, light chamomile wit. You know, we try to dial back the orange peel a little bit and make it more of a lemony thing.
Okay.
And just use a really nice wit beer yeast and
Now,
a lot of
I see you
unmalted wheat.
I see you put ginger in it too.
Yeah, a little bit of ginger.
Is that common for a wit, or is that?
Yeah,
something
well, I mean that's
it can be
in there.
It can be. It can ginger can overpower big time.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's and we put that in there just to kind of play off
a little
the chamomile, because the chamomile gets a real, almost an alkaline kind of flavor to it.
Yeah.
You know, very very kind of.
It's a signature, definitely. The
Yeah,
chamomile.
yeah. So you put the more chamomile you put in there, the more ginger you can put in there.
Okay.
And the more ginger you put in there, the more snap you get. So we try to play the chamomile and the ginger off each other, and then mask them with a lemon.
Got it.
Tone it back down with a lemon.
Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is really good.
I'm guessing that's a pretty popular beer out there for you.
Yeah, it goes pretty well, and we back that up with our saison, which was Sonia and my wedding beer. We called it the Matrimony Ale when we first brewed it over 10 years ago, and that was loosely based on the Fantôme saison.
Good beer.
So, and the Fantôme has got a really earthy, kind of dirty, barnyardy funkiness to it, with a hint of strawberries, which is nice.
After all that.
So we have that on right about the same time we have the wit on. So we have kind of one funky Belgian, farmyard, barnyard thing, and then a wit, which is really nice. So we kind of play them off each other.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, I know it's getting late there. New York City Beer Week's starting up.
Yeah, starting up Friday. There's all kinds of good stuff happening.
Where can people go for info on that?
Well, nycbeerweek.com.
Okay.
Is the website I'm trying to keep running, and if it doesn't keep crashing. But we have all kinds of good stuff this year. This year we're doing an event on Friday night called the Opening Tap, where we have 50 places from around the city, each one with a unique beer that is only available that night.
Wow.
So a lot of stuff from their cellars, stuff that breweries have from their basements, and that kind of thing. So we have basically a map of places that are just tapping a beer at 7 o'clock Friday night. Come
That's a great
get it
idea.
and drive people out into the city. The New York City Brewers Guild, which I'm president of, each brewery brewed a special beer. Our collaboration basically is like Iron Chef. So we picked 3 different malts and 3 different hops from the state of New York, all New York grown products, malted in New York, and 3 different malts, 3 different hops, and we all brewed a different beer with those. And we could brew whatever beer we wanted, whatever yeast we wanted to do, no other ingredients. Just 3 malts, 3 hops, random yeast. Some guys did some sours, some guys did some Vienna lagers, some guys did double rye IPAs.
Bada bing.
So, yeah, we did pale ale malt, a Vienna malt, and a amber rye was the 3 malts, and then we used New York State Chinooks, Cascades, and Willamettes. So the interesting thing is as opposed to your normal collaboration, which everybody, I don't really know how those work necessarily.
They collaborate.
They sit around, drink beer, and say, yeah, we should do this beer. Well, what we did is we did an online poll within the Brewers Guild. We picked out of 20 different available malts from the state of New York and 15 different hops. We picked 3 of each and said, okay, let's just brew. Everybody order your grains and everybody brew whatever beer you want to do. And we have a couple rye pale ales. We have a couple of California commons. But I guarantee you they're all going to be different products, and there's one event during the week that you can go and try it, and that'll be Brewer's Choice, which is on Tuesday the 24th. That's kind of a VIP beer session next door to our brewery.
Okay.
And there should be about 700 people at that. So there's a lot of really interesting things. The Rupert's Cup is coming up. This is the People's Choice for favorite brewery during New York City Beer Week. So any brewery that's competing from anywhere around the country can come in and compete for this trophy. And we took a 5-gallon beer keg, chopped the top off, took the stem out, welded a handle on the side, and made a 5-gallon stainless steel stein, kind of like the kind of like the Stanley Cup. And we could etch the name of the winner on the front and stuff.
Nice.
And people can go online and vote. Hey, I really like Stone, or hey, I really like this, or I like that. And if they've registered with me, as that they're participating in New York City Beer Week, they have to do something interesting in New York City during New York City Beer Week. I'll put their name on the ballot. Anybody can vote, and all the proceeds, it's $5 per vote.
Okay.
It's a little convoluted. I got to come up with a shorter spell. But $5. But all the proceeds go to City Harvest, which helps fight hunger in New York City. So for every $1 that is voted, is pledged, you can feed 4 people for a day in New York City. So,
wow.
So we've already got $1,000 in sponsorship. So we've already fed 25 people, I think, for the month.
Okay, that's fantastic.
So it's kind of another kind of frivolous thing that we're doing, but that's what New York. That's what craft beer does. They get out and they do kind of silly, frivolous stuff, promote their products, and get money to charity and have fun doing it and show the artistry and the craft and the integrity that are in the community. And that's what we're trying to do with the Rupert's Cup thing, and that's what we're trying to really bring to New York City Beer Week, is just to show, hey, it's more than just about going out and drinking high IBU something. We want to have fun with it, and we want to do good with it. So
I love it.
That's what we're trying to do this year.
Great use of craft beer and your time.
Yeah.
So is it, just once again, it's nycbeerweek.com?
nycbeerweek.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Everyone can go there and get details on how to vote and all the different events. And
there's a lot of great breweries participating this year, and a lot of great events. And as of Friday night, my mind's going to sign out, and I'm going to be on autopilot, I hope.
I hope you get to do that.
NY Sleep Week, I'm telling you.
That's right.
It's a new thing.
Exactly right. Leading up to St. Patrick's Day.
You can license it.
Yeah.
You'll license the name, don't worry.
I feel like just to show my support, I'm going to do SF Sleep Week and NY Sleep Week.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Just to show,
we just go U.S. Sleep Week.
U.S. Sleep Week.
Yeah.
Just take a nap.
Yeah, we're going to do it all.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, Kelly, thanks so much for being on the program.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I also know that you tried your damnedest to get beer to us today.
Yeah, Sarah messed it up.
No, I don't think you messed it up. I think our great...
No, Sarah, not me.
Oh, well then, by all means. All right. I just wanted to say that we appreciate that very much, and I'm looking forward to trying it. And, we're going to talk about it on next week's show, too. We're going to share it with the guys when it comes in.
Okay,
so,
thank you. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you like it, let me know what you think.
If you don't, fuck them.
Go fuck yourself.
Kelly Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, he's with Kelso Beer Company out of Brooklyn. You can go to kelsobeer.com right now and look up the beers that we talked about, and you can go to nycbeerweek.com to look up Beer Week. Kelly, thanks so much, brother.
Hey, thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Take care. There you go. Kelly.
Wow. A rare round of applause from the peanut gallery. Yeah.
Well, it's late for poor Kelly out there in Brooklyn, and he stuck with us and tried to get us beer, too. So that's very cool to have him on there.
All good.
Yeah, he might have inadvertently named, if Jay Goodwin ever writes a book, So You Soured a Beer. Super. It's a great time. I mean, if Dick Cantwell can write So You Want to Start a Brewery. Or no, I'm sorry, Tony McGee. So you soured a beer.
Yeah.
Super.
Absolutely.
Then what?
On purpose.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we got some beer news. Plus, we're playing a little Find the Fake tonight.
Yes, we are.
Some real news and some fake news.
Some real news and some fake news. All right, so we're going to take a quick break here for just a couple minutes. When we come back, we'll do some beer news. Plus, we've got our SF Beer Week lowdown that Moscow went out on the town and put together for us. So hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Limited time only. Enter promo code BNARMY during January and February for 10% off any Monster Mill.
Don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster Mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster Mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Remember, during January and February, for 10% off any mill, enter promo code BNARMY. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Adventures in Homebrewing have the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the Serial Killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-size brew pots. And the BN Army receives 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code AIH10 at checkout. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. And don't forget to use the current coupon code AIH10. Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks to Kelly from Kelso Beer Company over there in Brooklyn. Great guest. It was a lot of fun to talk to him about the New York beer scene. And you can go over to kelsobeer.com and check them out right now. So, hey, Tasty made it back in.
Yeah, I'm back in the house.
Tasty, were you up at Russian River
Yeah, I had to
today?
go up there and check out the Janice Brown Ale. Janice Brown.
Was it put on tap for the first time today?
No, it was on tap like a week ago Friday. I just, because of Beer Week, I didn't get a chance to get up there.
Got it.
So I assembled the brew crew together. We went up there and checked it out.
Okay, excellent. And are you pleased?
Oh, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
it's as good as any other year, maybe better.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Want some?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you brought some?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, now I got to chug a beer.
Well, whatever.
some.
You're going to Jazz Brown, right? It's here.
We still got a break, too, so I don't want to have to pound a beer, but yeah, I definitely want to try some.
Great.
All right.
And there's going to be some delivered here later in the week, or Wednesday, it sounds like.
Perfect. Well, Tasty, now that you've mentioned that, rumor has it we're going to have, like, Tasty Night.
Oh, yeah, it's coming together, it looks like.
Because we've got more than just that collaboration. You have several commercial
I got
collabs.
the one with Heretic and Mitch Steele, the
Evil 3. Okay.
And then the one with Faction, the Vapor.
Vapor. Oh, I like that beer.
Yeah, we'll get them all here. We'll do a Tasty Thursday.
Oh, I love it. All right. No,
Tasty Tap Takeover.
I'm kind of feeling like it should be a Tasty Friday, Tasty.
Oh, we could do it Friday. We'll bring the high price girls in.
Why not? Yeah. I like it. We're going to have 3 or 4 year beers on. I think it'll be cool.
And you get to meet me.
Yeah.
If we wait a little bit longer, I have another one that it's not ready yet. Or is it? Well, whatever.
We might be waiting a little bit longer. I heard about that, too. You might have to just give Kevin an update on the other one. And if it's not too long and you feel like the Janets and the Evil 3 are going to hold up fine,
those are great.
I'd love to have all 4 on at once.
No, the Janets would be better in 10 weeks from now.
So I'm thinking we ought to wait for the 4th, you know?
If you got a place that could keep it. Now, when a guy from Russian River shows up on the truck, make sure it goes into cold storage.
Yeah, don't worry. That's going in the cold box.
They're Nazis.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that.
Straight to the cold box.
They'll be looking around like where you put the beer and stuff like that.
Well, now that we cleaned out the cold box during Beer Week, we got space for you. Yeah, I mean, it was gnarly. We had so much. We had beer bursting at the seams for all our events. So now we got room for you.
Was that your biggest week ever? Yes.
As a total of a week, yes.
I think so.
I mean, we've had some bigger days for certain, but it must have been our big. I
attended 3 great events here, and it was busy.
Still not our biggest opening week. Probably was.
Opening week,
but by quite a bit, actually.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, we had a good opening.
Well,
week,
maybe we can blow it up with this Tasty thing.
There we go.
3 beers. Yeah.
Try to build it up.
It just goes to show you, by the way, what our staff must have been dealing with on that first week, because it was quite a bit more revenue than Beer Week, and it was so busy here every night
during Beer Week.
Where was everybody standing opening week? I don't even remember.
And they were learning how to do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And clearly doing it well, because our Yelp reviews are pretty good for. Usually, like, it's that opening week that sort of kills you for a long time, because your Yelp has to average out again from all your shitty 3 stars from the first week. Our staff killed it.
Hey, 3 out of 5 is 70%. That's a C, dude. Don't worry about it.
We had an A.
Yeah, but it got me through high school. It's fun. It's not.
No.
What's 3 out of 5? 75%.
That's a high C.
It's 60%.
Oh, that's a low C.
When did the fuck did that happen?
Or a high D.
You must got a B minus, a 50% on your math.
I did, actually, yeah. How did you know?
It should work that way. You get 60% right and you fail. That doesn't make any sense.
That's a fail. Listen, Scott, you're an what are you, the underachiever now?
No sense. You get more than half the stuff right and you fail? What is that?
Slightly more than half the stuff. Get all the stuff right. All right. Hey, you guys want to do some beer news?
Yeah.
Yes.
I only have half the stories this week.
All right, let's do beer news. Beer news is brought to you by Adventures in Homebrewing.
Yes, and if you want to take an adventure on a Carnival ship, wait until the next one that they're building now, Vista, hits the open seas, because it will have a pub with an onboard brewery.
Really?
Yeah, this is cool.
The first brewery on a ship?
No, actually, the first one for a United States cruise liner. There's one out of, where is it? In Germany.
Must be Germany. Of course it's Germany.
AIDA Cruises, and they got a brewery on a ship. But it's only the second one ever and the first one for the US of A.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the largest cruise ship to date for Carnival. It's under construction now in Italy. 4,000 passenger vessel. It's going to be called the Red Frog Pub. Plans to serve 3 house-brewed beers. The brewery will be a showpiece there in the brew pub behind glass, just like ones here on terra firma. They're building a grist mill on a lower deck to process the grain, so it'll all be done on board.
Wow.
Carnival has not said if it's partnering with an existing brewer to operate the brewery, but they did say the brewery will have its own dedicated brewmaster. I'm not sure if they've hired for that position yet, but that could be a damn cool gig
I'm
for
thinking
somebody.
If you're a single brewer, that's got to be the best brew gig in America.
Right?
Yeah, or you just want to get away from your wife.
Or you need a vacation from your family.
If you're married and don't like your family.
Oh, hey, you think Doc would want to become a professional brewer? This is tailor-made.
He's looking for a break.
Yeah. Oh, you imagine
he could be the dentist and the brewer.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 4,000 people, somebody's going to have a dental issue.
Absolutely.
I need a root canal. Oh wait, I'm double decocting right now. Give me 24
Hold on,
hours.
the sparge is almost done.
Yeah. I love this idea of a brewery on the ship. It just might make me take a cruise.
They're going to launch in 2016, and they're going to be operating out of Florida. So it'll be a lot of sort of Caribbean cruises, I'm sure, and some transatlantic stuff. Now another cool
it
little
just circles Cuba. That's all it does. It's around and around.
You don't know where they're going. You trust them. They're going somewhere.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Go in a circle.
Yeah, they tell you get off. They tell you where you're at. You don't know.
Yeah,
you never. It looks the same.
The other side of Florida.
Wherever it is, there's always brown people. You know that. And you're just like, I don't know. It's Puerto Rico, I guess. That's what they said.
Yeah.
We started in Florida, though. I don't know.
Hey, boy, give me a drink. Actually, I'm a guest here. Oh,
exactly. Sorry, my fault.
Another cool bell and whistle. The beer will be available, obviously, at the bar there, but also through tabletop taps that allow people to pour their own beer at the table. That is good stuff. Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is my slow clap for that. I love it.
See people pour their own beer that don't know how to pour beer?
Oh, it is a mess.
Sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, it is. And the throttling of the handle and stuff.
Oh, it's going foamy, so I'll throttle it, so it's not so foamy. Yeah.
But I like this. I've heard of these systems before where the tap just sort of knows what you've poured. I don't know if those details are in there, but that's how they give you your bill at the end, because how else are you going to know how many beers you have?
Yeah, I didn't think about it. It didn't say.
Yeah, I've read about them before, and I think essentially it's some sort of a flow meter, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you just push a button and it goes.
Okay.
I don't think because yes, you're right. I mean, watching plebes pour beer for themselves, like, it's too fast, I got to slow it down.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know if we're honest, we all were in that boat one day.
I was never that way.
Come on.
I understand
then you got
fluid
lucky.
dynamics.
Yeah, first of
I'm
all, that is
smart.
bullshit.
I'm smart.
I
went
was
through 4
always...
years of college, tapped a bunch of kegs, had no idea how to pour beer.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Didn't learn until I was crafty.
Same with not knowing in college, you went and got the hand pump. And when the beer was bad the next day, we thought it was because we let it warm up or whatever. Right. And it turns out it's because we pumped oxygen in it all night. There's a business in that, by the way. Someone go to colleges and go, listen, kids, this is all you got to do.
Sure.
Just bring them say, forget the hand pump, and you can still drink the keg tomorrow. And
or here's what you say: I'll take half the good beer. You get the other half.
It's even easier. Yeah. You're only going to drink half anyway, guys.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I love this idea of a brewery on a boat.
It's cool, and it signals, I think, maybe a sea change, pardon the pun, for the cruise industry as it pertains to craft beer. This announcement from Carnival comes just 6 months after they announced a partnership with Cigar City to serve its beers on 13 ships sailing out of Tampa and other Florida ports. So I think it's part of an effort to bring more local craft beers onto ships, and it's included Maui Brewing Company and Abita Brewing Company. And so now you have some beer options on a cruise.
I went on a cruise years ago. It was before the BN, and but I loved craft beer. It's all I drank at the time. Yeah. All I could get on this particular cruise was Boddington's.
Love it.
And Guinness.
Oh, perfect.
Which,
sounds awesome.
It'll do
for
it
about $14 a can.
That doesn't sound awesome. That's not awesome, Justin.
It did do in a pinch, except for the $14 a can. Like mid-cruise, I went with my folks at the time, and we had to have a talk. They were like, listen, Justin, this $14 a drink thing, this isn't working out for us.
You keep charging it to the
put
room,
it
but
on the
it's
room.
real money.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're having like Jack and Cokes for $14.
Yeah, but they were paying, so God bless them.
Right.
Anyhow, so I like this move toward more craft beer on the ship.
Cut your ass
Are
off.
they just going to make goes? Or what are they going to do for water?
Yeah, it's just all goes. It'd be perfect.
Or like bright tanks. Like, how do you even, I don't know, logistically to me, it doesn't.
Flocculation might be an issue. The yeast will constantly be getting stirred up.
That's what I thought too. But then the only I've never been on a cruise because I don't like the open water. I like to see the land and be able to reach it, like physically touch it.
So you go ankle deep. Is what
so I can't because I got to dive back.
Leave
in case.
the dock.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
But the only thing I know from like ships is like freighter ships where they're in a big sea and everything's rocking back and forth. I imagine Carnival cruise lines have like stabilizers or something.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a little bit of movement. Most of the time, you barely feel it. Now, if there's rough water, they're going to feel it too. So, yeah, there may be times. I don't know that the yeast. I guess if they're in bright tanks and you're trying to get that stuff to settle, but it's generally pretty calm. Back to the water though, these ships are amazing.
Yeah.
Like they have their onboard desalinization plants.
Yes.
I mean, so they're probably just going to end up with RO and then build it back however they want it. I think they'd be fine water wise.
Yeah, they're amazing systems. My dad looked into getting one just on his personal boat, and they're expensive, but there's no difference between that and the crystal clear water coming out of your tap.
Yeah.
It would be kind of interesting to do an open ferment in the middle of the Atlantic. See if you could even catch anything.
Didn't the brew dogs do that?
They must
Extreme brew dogs.
They could brew, sink the boat, and then do that deep water brewing thing that the brew dogs do.
And then 100 years dig it back up.
Right, yeah.
Drink it.
Those guys are so insightful. Well, you could chill your wort with the seawater.
Yeah.
And you can probably control your fermentation temperature with it as well.
That's true. Use the ocean water.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the power actually comes from burning garbage on the they have. I know it sounds bad, but they have very efficient power generators to burn garbage down to ash.
So they'll probably burn the grain that way.
So they can do the grain as well. So it might be one of the most efficient breweries on the planet.
I'll follow this story, and I'll see if I can track down whoever does get that gig, if someone doesn't have it already, the brewmaster gig, and maybe we can have them on the program at some point.
Yeah, or we could do a remote from the, we should have to be on the cruise and maybe interview them that way.
I'm going to need to go
Let's
on that.
contact Carnival about that.
ABC, Scott, always be closing. Always.
Yeah. All right, what else?
All right, here is a less feel-good story. Everyone envisioned the Red Bull logo. It's easy. Everyone can do it, right? It's ubiquitous.
Yeah.
So there's an
I actually
old...
can't.
Scott was drinking one at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Yes, I know. I had a Pavlovian reaction, and I had a Red Bull today for the first time in a long time. But there's a brewery called Old Ox in Ashburn, Virginia. They're not even a year old, but Red Bull is crying trademark foul. Now, I sent you a picture, Justin, a side-by-side. Old Ox's logo is a blue X and a black circle, and it says Old Ox Brewery. So it looks absolutely nothing alike. But Old Ox, before it brewed its first batch, about 10 months ago, they received a letter from Red Bull's attorneys objecting to the trademark application for their brewery name and logo, which at the time was a bull's face. They objected to the slogan the brewery was using as well, which was "No Bull Beer." So here's Graham Burns, Old Ox's CFO, his quote. He says, "We felt it was a series of issues that could be taken care of on an informal basis. We're willing to do certain things. We've promised we won't make energy drinks. If there's a specific shade of red they want us to stay away from, we said let us know. But they didn't want us to just not use red. They didn't want us to use blue or silver. Every time we heard from him, it got more and more complicated. It became clear from the nature of the opposition that they opposed the name of the brewery altogether." Red Bull's most recent filing said, "An ox and a bull both fall within the same class of bovine animals and are virtually indistinguishable to most consumers.
No.
In addition, an ox is a castrated bull."
I will admit that if I were standing in a field and there was an ox and a bull, I wouldn't know the difference.
No. What if you walked around
You
looking
wouldn't
balls?
check for
Now,
balls
if I
or
was
not?
ball checking, I might know.
If an ox and a bull tried to sell you a beer, who would you buy from?
I would not be able to distinguish.
Right.
So,
makes sense.
in Red Bull's defense.
This is not the first time Red Bull has objected to a brewery's name and logo. Back in 2013, I can't remember if I reported this.
I remember the story.
Yeah, did I? Red Bull challenged the trademark of England's Redwell Brewery, claiming it was likely consumers would confuse the names Redwell and Red Bull. That dispute was settled after Redwell promised not to make energy drinks, which here Old Ox has done that, but apparently it has not satisfied Red Bull. The brewery says unfortunately they expect it to drag on for a couple of years. Their counsel has been saying it could go on and on.
Which is the way they nickel and dime the brewery, too. Wow.
This happened with Monster energy drinks, too. There was a brewery in Vermont that had a beer called Vermonster.
Yeah, and as long as for one, it led to the very famous Brewing Network April Fool's joke, where we sold out to Monster.
Yes.
And two, I think, again, since that brewery agreed to never make energy drinks, they were able to settle.
Yep.
I think
that's how it ended.
I feel like this is just solidifying that energy drinks are douchey.
Yeah.
And the only people that drink them are the people that should least be drinking them. Like Danny Bonaducci is just probably pounding like 10 a day. Yeah.
Red Bull!
Yeah.
Like I said, Scott had one right before the show.
Shut up, Gordon. What's your problem, man? I don't even know what you're even talking about.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a large truck, it takes a lot of power to steer it and stuff. So,
or to get in it.
Or energy, right.
That's a big step.
And then you have the big hat, tuck your ears under. It's hard to do.
and the brim of your hat being not very aerodynamic and flat
slows you down.
catches a lot of...
and your belt buckle is usually real heavy.
It's not an airfoil, that's for fucking sure.
Y'all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like I'm back in Livermore now.
Old Ox is fed up with the dispute, so they went to the Court of Public Opinion last week. They posted a snarky open letter on its blog, calling them a big red bully. So here's
I get it.
Some snippets from the letter. Do you own the color red? What about fuchsia, scarlet, crimson, or mauve? I don't know. Is that a M-A-U-V-E?
Mauve bull. I'm going to open Mauve bull.
The C is silent.
Mauve cow.
Are you planting your flag in the color wheel and claiming those shades for Red Bull? Do you claim exclusive rights to all things bovine? Do you plan to herd all cows, yaks, buffalo, bison, and steer into your intellectual property corral too?
Yes.
You say you are protecting your intellectual property rights, but your claim, in our opinion, is red bullshit.
Haram!
They've yet to receive a response.
Property corral.
Yeah. And one final story this week. A Scottish brewery called... It's so ironically named, I can't even... They're called Innis and Gunn.
Yeah.
And you'll see why in a second. They've created a limited edition beer made with aphrodisiac ingredients to coincide with the release of Oscar contender 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, it's already an Oscar contender.
Well, yeah.
When did that happen?
Yeah.
Innis,
like
Innis and Gunn.
Innis and Gunn.
Okay, I love that. To live up to its name, 50 Shades of Green is blended with 50 different types of hops from around the world.
God.
50, including Sriracha Ace and Pacific Jade, they say. Likewise, the brew is infused with aphrodisiac ingredients, including ginseng, which is said to boost sexual desire, ginkgo biloba, which has been shown to increase blood flow, and Damania, which is a nerve stimulant.
Does any alcoholic beverage need to include aphrodisiacs?
I know.
I feel like that's an oxymoron.
I also, I just don't like the combination, and I feel like it sounds dangerous to me. I mean, we're already walking around with boners all the time.
It also sounds
and now
stupid.
Beardy, you know what I'm talking about.
But some days I just want a boner made from love, not from aphrodisiacs or beer, alcohol, but just straight love.
Not from Innocent Gun?
It's more like I would think it as more like an organic roofie where you give it to the chick.
This is the other problem I actually have with the beer. Exactly.
That's why I'm taking self-defense.
It should be more like the way it happens in nature, where the woman drinks the roofie.
Exactly.
And then you leave the bar.
Like it happens in nature.
Organically.
Hey, guys, I just want to remind you that this is going out to the bar right now.
Yeah, well, they're all drinking it, too.
I just want to remind you that this conversation is being recorded and will be forwarded to the authorities.
All right, here's the real kicker, guys. This performance-enhancing beer comes at a price, 30 pounds a bottle, or $46 USD. That's for a small bottle.
It must be packed with roofie.
It must be. That's the news brought to you by our friends at Adventures in Homebrewing. The BN Army gets a 10% discount off your order at Adventures in Homebrewing using the coupon code IPA. That was a request from JP. IPA gets you 10% off homebrewing.org.
There we go. And while we're talking about aphrodisiacs...
The only good use for IPA, by the way, is to save money.
As a code to
Thank
save
you.
money. While we're speaking of aphrodisiacs, don't forget you can go to Adam and Eve, even though Valentine's Day is over.
It's
maybe,
never, ever over.
And maybe you screwed up on your gift giving. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you brought home like...
Maybe you brought it home weak on Valentine's Day.
And your significant other was like... You brought that, huh?
That's it?
That's what we went for.
You didn't go to Adam and Eve, did you?
That's right. So you can go there now. Go to adamandeve.com, and you can get 50% off just about any item by using coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. It's the BN Army. You get 50% off an item. You get...
some of that?
What else do you get?
Free porn.
Free porn.
A lot of DVDs.
A romance kit for free.
A gift we cannot discuss.
Romance kit has a toy for him and a toy for her, or a massager for her, actually. And then something you'll both enjoy, plus a free adult DVD, plus free shipping. Go to adamandeve.com, use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, and that'll get you what you need.
You know, a toy for him is a toy for her.
That's what I said last show.
Well, no, he gets a Hot Wheels, and she gets a massager.
Yeah. I'm always just over there playing with my Hot Wheels.
Yeah. She gets a boyfriend.
Driving him around the bed.
Yeah.
The upper leg. Ooh, I got the truck this time.
Let's go around the mountains this time.
Yeah. I got the dump truck. You know what I mean? All right, let's take a quick break. Actually, not so quick, because in the middle we got some great content for you. Moscow went out during SF Beer Week and got you the lowdown from the gala and a couple other things, so he's going to report back to you after these words. Hang in there, then we'll be back with Find the Fake. It's The Session. See you in a minute.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
If you don't know Yeastman, you're missing out. White Labs Yeast Manager, Yeastman, is available free to any brewer. Yeastman is your direct link to White Labs' yeast production facility. Yes, you can check yeast availability, and yes, you can place an order, but Yeastman is much more. View yeast quality control and analytical reports. See your big QC Day entries and reports. Get access to the entire White Labs catalog, specials on overruns of freshly made yeast, and customized options for your account. Yeastman is the only real-time online ordering in the business connected directly to factory production. Yeastman is always on and always live. It's the largest online marketplace for specialty brewers yeast and related products. Visit yeastman.com today and tap directly into White Labs production facility. Gonna brew? Yeastman to the rescue.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, I mean, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat-rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's it. It's February 16th. Here we are. San Francisco Beer Week is over. It ended yesterday on the 15th. It started on the 6th, and it was 10 days of beer-fueled fun here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm going to take you through my week, which consisted mostly of events here at the Hop Grenade because I'm really lame, and I mostly only like hanging around with people that I already know. So, no better way to kick off San Francisco Beer Week than in San Francisco, where I started on Thursday the 5th, the night before the festivities began at the opening gala. Got a little pregame action in at a dinner or supper hosted by Guinness. 4 courses with 4 different beer pairings and lots of folks with Irish accents in the room. Really cool setting, really good food. A good time was had by all. What is it? It's like what do you call like the precursor event? Like the warm-up, the pregame. This is San Francisco Beer Week pre-gaming at the Guinness Hooli Supper. It's a 4-course beer pairing dinner hosted by Guinness, featuring their newest offering, Blonde American Lager. And describe what you're eating right now.
I'm eating, it's almost like a ceviche, but made in the style of a fish and chips.
This is my girlfriend Alexa, who was sitting to my left. I told you I only like to talk to people who I already know.
So it's raw scallops with little crisps on top, which give it that crispy taste and texture, with some tartar sauce and little bits and pieces of malt vinegar, just to complement the flavor. It's absolutely delicious.
It's pretty good. And this is just the first of 4. Then I can hit opening gala tomorrow night with a full stomach. And I was full pretty much the entire next day from that meal. It was 4 courses of very rich food and a generous helping of beer with each. And I woke up feeling it, and I'll leave it at that. Anyway, it was Friday the next day, and I met up with our lovely social media manager, Kim, a.k.a. Kim's Bay Brews. What better way to roll to opening gala than with a blonde woman on your arm, or at least next to you. We got to the city a couple hours early and hit 21st Amendment, which, for those of you not in the know, is just a couple of blocks away from AT&T Park. Also, they can their beer. We had a couple of the lightest offerings on the menu, which, speaking of blondes, was their blonde. So now it's Friday, about 3:51 p.m. Me and Kim are here at 21st Amendment. Describe this fantastic beer in front of you.
Well, it's light, which is nice. It's seeing we're pre-gaming before a beer fest with over 82 breweries. So the low ABV is very appealing. Malts are clean. Back to you, Scott.
Yeah, it's not even that low. It's like 5 something.
It's 5.1.
Yeah. Well, you got to do what you got to do. Opening gala coming up in just a couple hours. Now, from here, Kim and I tried to get an Uber to take us up to Fort Mason, which was just a few miles north of 21st Amendment and where the opening gala was taking place. It was about 4:15 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, and we thought we allowed ourselves enough time to get up there in time for the 5 to 6 p.m. media hour, but no. The streets were gridlocked, the Uber drivers were busy, and we had to walk up past Market Street and like halfway to our destination before we finally caught an Uber. We got to the hall around 5:45 p.m., got in for the last 15 minutes of media hour, and of course went straight to the Russian River table where Pliny the Younger was being poured. Not because Kim and I are particularly enamored of Pliny the Younger, but, you know, we can say we did. Regretfully, the acoustics in the hall were just awful. It was very, very loud, predictably, and echoey, and the audio that I got there was not suitable for air, unfortunately. So suffice it to say that it was a big open hall. Everyone who's anyone in the beer world and the brewing world was represented there, either with their beer or just their presence. Very well organized, a fun event. I wish I had multiple stomachs and multiple livers so I could have tried more than I did. A cool touch that the organizers included was arcades. There was a pinball machine and a few old school arcades, a Street Fighter II, Asteroids, a couple others. I definitely spent some time playing Street Fighter II, mostly fighting with Ken. Forgot how fun that can be. Anyway, forgive me for not having audio. But I do have audio from the event I went to the next day, Saturday, which was the release party for Transatlantic Creek and La Folie, New Belgium Sours, baby. We are at the Good Hop Bottle Shop in Oakland at Lost in the Woods. Lost in the Woods is New Belgium's release party for Transatlantic Creek and 2015 La Folie. They're also pouring the NBB Love Leopold.
Part of the reason that we're all here tonight is because we're celebrating the 2015 release of our Transatlantic Creek. This is our 5th release of this beer that we've done. This was the first ever international collaboration that had ever even been attempted. And just between us and these walls...
Oops.
The first time we did it, it was completely illegal. And we were straight bootlegging Creek back from Belgium to blend with beer from our brewery to release. We've grown up as a brewery quite a bit. This is no longer a bootleg operation, something completely illegal that we do, and we actually do it within the letter of the law these days. But for the first year ever, we've done this collaboration with Oud Beersel in Belgium as well, and so this is Gert, and the brewmaster from Oud Beersel, and our brewmaster, Peter Bucher, as well, in Fort Collins, Colorado, giving a virtual toast to all of us here that are enjoying this beer tonight. So thank you all again for coming out, and cheers.
All 3 of the beers were great, as usual. So great that I took Sunday off to recuperate before heading back in on Monday, where we recorded the session with Devin Randall from Pete Support. And then it was on to Tuesday night. The crew from Society was back in the house for a tap takeover. And it was a crowded house. No one brings them out like those Society boys.
All right, everybody. Hey, once again, welcome to Society Night at the Hop Grenade. A lot of good beer on tap. I'll break the ice by letting you know that Dougie and I our homes with women that are far better looking than we are. We each submit pictures weekly to Hot Chicks with Douchebags.
So I got Dougie and Nate here. Dougie, tell me how you feel. You got your beer taking over the taps of a bar run by guys who, frankly, you've been obsessed with for years. Can you just describe how you're feeling about the whole thing?
I'm less anxious than I was on the Monday session, which it's pretty fucking awesome.
Nate, what do you think of the beers tonight?
Awesome beers. I need to try all 10. I think I'm 3 in. I got 7 to go.
I have my hand down Nate's pants. That's why he's agreeing with everything you're saying.
Don't squeeze too hard, man.
I'm drinking some Roustabout right now. Great hoppy beer. Really delicious, yeah.
So you got Nicole taking you home so you can get through all 10 then?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll at least try to get close. I can't think of a better way to spend a Tuesday night than drinking through Society's catalog.
Can you give me an idea of how you decide the order?
Actually, I'm deciding it pretty random. If I was going to do it right, I probably wouldn't have gone for a double IPA second, but what the fuck.
So on the next Society night, whenever that is, maybe Beer Week 2016, what would you like to see?
You and Nutters.
Me?
Yes. Moscow and Nutters. Paint on Nutters. I'm going to keep preaching paint on Nutters.
I think the idea of it may be a little more rewarding than the reality. I'm here with bartender Aaron. Aaron, what Society beer has been moving fastest tonight?
The Harlot, for sure. 2 Harlots.
What?
2 glasses of the Harlot.
I'm drinking the Harlot, of course.
Harlot, Pupil, and Apprentice.
When people ask you to describe Society beers, what do you say to them?
Clean, crisp, and fresh.
What are you drinking as your shift beer when you're off tonight?
Tonight it's going to be Pupil, and then Apprentice, and then Roustabout, and then the Butcher.
All right, enough. After a night with Society, we all, and certainly I, needed a day off, so Wednesday became that day. But it was right back on the train on Thursday for a doubleheader, starting at the Rare Barrel, where they were hosting, very simply, Let's Talk Sours with Cascade Brewing. Kevin Martin, who's the lead blender and cellar master there at Cascade, joined Jay and sat up on stools in front of about 50-ish people and just had an interactive conversation about sour beer blending and production as we tasted through several Cascade and Rare Barrel offerings. No food to distract, just some plain crackers and water for palate cleansing. It was another tremendous sour beer experience. Before the event got underway, I got a quick word in with Jay and Kevin. We're about to start the event, so let me get your guys' thoughts before the talking and the drinking starts.
I'm just really flattered to actually be invited to speak here at the Rare Barrel. I mean, a lot of talent, a lot of creativity here, so I mean, it's just very humbling to even just be standing among the barrels and here with Jay. And, I'm really excited about the enthusiasm in the room, and hopefully we can offer some insight into the process.
Who decided on the order?
Either of us? I don't know.
I don't know.
The powers that be, I guess. Yeah.
I would think the brewers would dictate, no?
Alex has a fine palate, so he's deciding all the orders tonight. And the fun part is, we're matching a few of our beers together. We both do a lot of fruit beers, so matching our apricot sours and our elderberry sours, which not a lot of people do. Yeah, it's just an honor to have Cascade here. It's one of the giants of sour beer brewing, so one of our favorite places to go, and to have them here tonight is like almost an affirmation of, we must be doing something right.
Or at least you built a cool enough place to
choice. Nice weather, it's a time away from work, so at least we got that.
And a couple of excited-looking gentlemen at one of the tables. Hey guys, we're right about to start this event. Can you tell me what you're feeling?
I'm feeling pretty excited. I love sour beer, I love Cascade, I love you guys, so, yeah.
The apricot is a personal favorite of mine anyway, so I'm excited to try it in the context of all these other ones.
What do you think about the IPA thrown in right in the middle there? In the middle of the flight was Society's Pupil.
I think it makes sense, right? I think you want something that's like a palate cleanser and stuff like that, and something that's not a sour, right? Because you don't want to destroy your palate.
Hey Jay, can you just describe what you're doing right now?
Well, Scott, we're taking some barrel samples. Taking some barrel samples of Brett Lacto beer after our Cascade event, and go for it. A lot of people don't get this chance to try beer straight from the barrel. Totally different experience, and it's a fun deal.
So. Man currently filling your beer. What are you thinking right now?
Mike, who came from New York to try this.
Yeah, wow.
Tingling anticipation. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've ever done this. I'm glad it's the Rare Barrel.
And then it was straight from the Rare Barrel back up to the Hop Grenade, where Funny, They Don't Taste Jewish was taking place. A tap takeover with our friends from Schmaltz. Jeremy Cowan was in the house, and my old friend Zach Davis. Everywhere you looked, people were eating matzo ball soup and exchanging their favorite Yiddish curses. My mother would have been proud. We had vintages of Jubilation, pouring, sours, IPAs, really a rangy set of options from Hebrew. There were even some Schmaltz fanboys in the house.
I just was lamenting the old days when they look at the price of the beers back then.
Oh, I know. I was going to say, wow, that's a very cheap bottle.
Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
Marshall Stein from Walnut Creek, California.
What do you got here?
I have a collection of Jubilation beers dating back to the number 9. I have a 15, a 13, and a 17.
So you brought these with you?
Yes, I did.
To do what?
I was hoping to have the wonderful owner of Schmaltz Brewing, Jeremy, sign them for me tonight.
Have you had these beers before, and these are just extras?
These are my personal collection, and yes, I've had all of them, and I managed to save a couple and not drink them as good as they are. I had a few left, and I thought I'd bring them down here tonight to have them sign them as a little keepsake.
Describe how you feel about Schmaltz.
How do I say this? I love the strong beers that they make. They're very unique, and they appeal to what I like in a beer. They're different. They're strong, no doubt, and I'd love to enjoy a beer for a long time, and one of these will last me all night long.
Longtime listeners, you'll recognize this next voice as the golden-tongued former radio DJ, but not really, but he should have been, Jeremy Cowan.
Right now, I am about to sign this fantastic vintage bottle of Jubilation 15. Let's see, are we in our 18th? We're in our 19th year right now. So this was a very important year for Jubilation 15 because brewed at 15 malts, 15 hops, and the first batches did not hit 15% alcohol. So I was freaking all the way out. And so we decided to hold off, and we took that original beer and we put it into Sazerac rye whiskey barrels and Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels and decided to ice bock, actually, the last fermenter of it. And we actually pulled out even more of the water, bumped up the alcohol, put that into barrels, and that became Funky Jubilation. And so it went from being an utter catastrophe to being one of our most beloved products. On draft tonight at the Hop Grenade is Funky Jubilation, which used the very last of Jubilation 15 in those barrels. So this is the original recipe that we did end up making the right ABV on, and it worked out just fucking great.
And the party train kept right on a rolling into Friday night when it was time for Barrel Night with Firestone Walker and some of their Barrel Works beers. The Agrestic and the Bretta Weiss made appearances. First time I'd had them outside of the brewery, along with several other offerings. And no Firestone Walker night would be complete without an appearance from Matt Brindleson, the man behind the beer. And when I say the man, I do mean the man.
Tell me about the latest at Barrel Works.
Well, Jim Crooks is responsible for all the beers there. He's doing an outstanding job. He had 9 releases in 2014 and is going to do that again and more in 2015. I have to say that Bretta Weiss is my favorite beer that's being made down there. It's probably the simplest of the beers that's being made there, but it's nice and low alcohol. Primary with bread, some lacto in there, nice and dry. And then Agrestic is near and dear to my heart because it's double barrel ale that's allowed to be racked to Barrel Works barrels, and then we do some souring there, and it's another pretty drinkable beer.
Have you ever had a result come out of there? I mean, it's still young, but have you had a result come out of there where you went, ooh, I want to go consult with them and dial this in further?
No, I mean, it's a work in progress. I like some beers more than others, but no, for the most part, we say we are only going to release world-class beers, so we kind of are very serious about checking it out before we let it go.
Give me your thoughts on beer weeks in general.
Oh, well, it's awesome. It's awesome for the city that they are in. It's awesome for, beer fans. And it sucks for breweries because there's a beer fest in every major city and minor city, for that matter, across the country. So you could just spend your whole year traveling in a beer weeks.
Yeah,
no, it's cool. It's awesome to see this much enthusiasm for craft beer, and it just gets bigger and bigger every year. It's crazy.
Justin has proposed that maybe we need to get more specialized, so there needs to be like a Paso Robles beer week, Concord beer week. Yeah. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, let's not do that. And by the way, let's roll it back to a week, like 7 days, please.
Amen.
Well, there you have it. My fairly lame and unadventurous coverage of San Francisco Beer Week. I look forward to 2016 when we either take Matt's advice and roll it back to a week, or go the other direction and just make February Beer Month. Until either one of those happens, this is Scott the Jew saying, L'chaim.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's a pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com.
Tonight is the night.
We bring the creature to life, Dr. Blickmanstein?
Yes, J.P. Gore. Everything is perfect for my next fermented creation.
My father, the storm is too far away. We'll never have enough power to isomerize the creature's alpha acid.
Yes, J.P. Gore, we will. For I have in my possession the Tower of Power.
Blickman's new Tower of Power is the evolution of automation. Control hot liquor, sparge, and mash temps like a pro. The Tower of Power is a high-quality gas-fired rim system that works with your current brewing setup. With ultra-precision, the tower can hold your mash to 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. Precision and repeatability. The Tower of Power is the answer to automatic, fast ramp times. See more at BlickmanEngineering.com. Bring your next creation to life with the Tower of Power.
Dr. Blickmanstein, with the Tower of Power, you can probably give me an afternoon at the pub to enjoy a pint.
Don't be silly, J.P. Gore. We have beer to brew.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the Hop Grenade and on the session tonight. It's been a fun show. It's been good to have Kelly Taylor from Kelso Beer Company on the line with us as well. And we're about to do a little Find the Fake to round out the show here with a little bit of fun. How about that?
No way.
It'd be a change. It'd be a change of pace.
Yeah. But first, I just poured myself a little bit of Janet's Brown. I haven't had it yet. I think you guys were tasting it earlier.
Tasty just pointed at my soundboard. He's like, I don't want to talk.
Where's my backtrack?
Drop it in.
Yeah.
Janice Brown?
Yeah. How are you going to get that? What was that?
I like this better than last year,
a little bit.
I think.
I think, it's good. It's not as strong as last. Last year it came out like 8.2 or something.
It's not as strong. It's a little more floral, I think.
This one was just a 20-gallon batch. So I went in there. They have like a really tall and skinny fermenter, and Vinny says he gets more hop aroma.
Okay.
That. So I would assume hop flavor would be also in play.
Yeah.
That's great shit.
But it definitely tastes like Janet's. I mean, No,
it's right on.
It always tastes. Yeah, they get it. They get it right.
Well, it's sort of a. You recording this?
No, this is live.
Janice Brown is more like a style, like a broad style of beer. That's a hoppy dark beer. There aren't too many of those. So
yeah,
one of my favorite beers, Evil Twin.
It's still a crowd pleaser.
It's not so different. I get the same sort of like satisfaction from drinking Heretic Evil Twin as I do this.
I can see that.
Even though the recipes are completely different. But what they have in common is that they're dark and they're hoppy.
Yeah. And they have that same kind, the malt character, I think is similar.
Character,
right? A little spicy in the malt and great floral hop.
It's just great with pizza.
I know, it is going. It's washing down my pizza.
Doesn't that
right,
wash pizza really well? Oh, my God.
Well, good job. All right, so we're going to have this at the Hop Grenade soon. Yeah. I know that it's coming in this week, but we might just hold on to it a little bit. So stay tuned to the Brewing Network Facebook page and the Hop Grenade as well, and we'll let you know we're going to do our tasty night here. We'll have 3 or 4 tasties on tap. Tasty on tap.
Ooh,
that's going to be that's our event name,
Tuesday,
I think.
Tasty
right
Thursday, tasty every day.
Yeah. All right, so we wanted to play a little bit of Find the Fake. I believe we have our contestants.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, did
this
you?
Round.
I can tell.
I think I did pretty good.
Spent some time on it?
Yeah, I did spend some time on it. The drive over here.
Well, yeah, you're saying you're proud of it, right?
Proud of it.
Proud of it.
I'm proud of it.
Good.
All right, Scott, help me out and make sure you're keeping score here. And
he's the only one that does.
Let's go to the phones. I think our first caller is Johnny. Johnny from West Virginia. What's happening, buddy?
Oh, I'm just drunk as shit.
That's how we like you.
Shit's drunk.
You know? Your girlfriends or your wife may not like you this way, but this is how we like you.
And that's what matters.
Yeah, because clearly you like yourself.
Yes, sir.
A man of few words.
Are you in the basement hiding?
What is it?
Are you in the basement hiding?
Wait, not even what's
I don't
up.
have a
What is
basement.
it?
What is it?
What is up? What
It's
is
the
it?
room below your house. Oh, what is up?
I don't have a basement.
Oh, so there you go.
Are you
So
just
answer
laying
that.
in the crawl space under your house?
Yeah. Does your wife know you're as hammered as you are or talking to a radio show?
Unfortunately, I do not have a wife, Doc.
Unfortunately.
Oh, dang.
Sounds like you got out of there alive.
Does that mean that you used to have one and now you don't? Is that the kind of unfortunately we're talking about
He
here?
sounds like he's like 22.
No.
Now we're going to work it all
well,
out.
then
It's
it's not
West
a...
Virginia, dude. It's a fucking slim breeding pool here.
In an unrelated note, how long does it take to drain a 5'1" female?
You got any cousins?
No, it's all related in Virginia.
Tasty. Well, because, Tasty was from Missouri once. He knows.
Dude, fucking Missouri would be an upgrade from West Virginia.
All right, fair enough. All right, hang tight there, Johnny. Let's go to Dan. And Dan's calling in from Chicago. Dan, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
Just getting ready for some Find the Fake. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. I'm on like my 8th homebrew, so...
8th homebrew. All right.
So you're ready for good beer.
Everyone's
They're
drinking
starting to
tonight
taste
on
good
this
now?
holiday. I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
Chicago
Happy
proper?
President's Day.
Yeah, same
Go
to you.
Prez.
Are you from Chicago proper? Like
I
downtown?
am from Chicago proper, but I just moved to the suburbs, so I'm right on the skirts.
All right. All right, let's go over to Thud Monkey from Wisconsin. Thud Monkey, what's happening?
What's up, gentlemen and Bevo?
There you go. Very
Wow,
nice of you.
elegant.
Are you, too, drinking quite a bit tonight, like our previous caller?
I am drinking quite a bit. I'm drinking some Bell's, Smitten, and I'm having some Rubeus from Founders.
Nice work. All at once. I like it. Let's go to Mal Brewer from Kansas City. Mal Brewer,
Yes,
what's
way too
happening?
efficient.
Yeah.
I think it's Mo
Hey, what's
Brewer.
going on?
I think it's Mao. I think he's a Maoist.
No, it's,
Chairman Mao.
Chairman, yeah.
Oh, it's M-A-O Brewer.
it's Mo.
Mo.
Mo Brewer.
Maybe he's a cat fan. He's Meow Brewer.
Since when is Mo spelled
Hey, I'm
M-O-W?
from Missouri, man. It's not Missouri. It's Missouri, and hell yeah, it's better than Florida.
Who brought up Florida?
I will fight anybody who says otherwise.
Yeah, by the way, I don't know that that's a real claim to fame.
Yeah.
Missouri, we're better than Florida.
That ain't Florida.
I think it says it on their
At
license
least we're
plate.
not Detroit.
I'll agree with you on
Missouri,
all points.
at least we're not Detroit. There's a whole series of T-shirts. for
Missouri.
Missouri.
From their board
More
of
money
tourism.
than Detroit.
Missouri. At least we're not St. Louis. Oh,
Yeah.
No, I'm from Kansas City.
Okay.
Let's play a game.
Missouri.
So you're more of a mustard guy than a vinegar guy, right?
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
He knows.
barbecue humor.
Barbecue jokes, everybody.
All right, the quick lowdown of the
Smoldering.
game is that JP is going to read you
Four
four news stories. You have to tell us which one is fake. I will let you ask the brewcasters if you want our opinion. We're going to probably give it anyway, but then you can choose to take it or not.
You should note that
mine will be worthless.
We're historically
It's not
quite
that
terrible
easy.
at this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that's true. Especially me. I'm really bad at this.
I've
game.
never gotten one
You're
right.
bad at picking out fake boobs.
Huh.
Everybody has their gift.
I never thought about it.
He wants them to be real so badly.
Right, exactly. He's an optimist.
I feel like whether that's true or not, I win if we test it. So maybe I ought to put this theory to the test. JP, speaking of fake boobs, stripping down.
These are all real, baby.
I can see NHC
All right.
in my
So
head
let me,
right now.
Let me take a deep breath here, but I do want to point out, though, the trick here is to figure out which demented story JP's making up.
Yes.
I mean, what would he do? What does he dream about? This
trying to get in the head.
What is he? You got to get in JP's head.
You got to find a really dark
Tasty's
place.
right, and if I remember right, Tasty is pretty okay at this game.
I've won a few times. So maybe I'm 50-50. You know?
So you got to think about JP's dreams.
Right. When he closes his eyes, what color does he see? Bone white or red?
Oh, come on, it's all black. Come on.
All right, well, why don't you go ahead and start the stories for us, JP?
All right, thank you very much. This first one I like to call Let Them Drink Foam. Maine, it seems, is having an issue with its trusty sidekick, beer, and it's one that State Senator Patrick is very passionate about. He's pushing for a bill that would require the state to oversee the sale of all draft beer in order to ensure consumers are indeed receiving the proper amount paid for. It seems that some of the bars in Maine are advertising 16-ounce pints, but are handing their customers 14-ounce glasses or less. Quote, I'd like to have a full glass of beer if I'm going to get it, Senator Patrick said, apparently a beer drinker. Some bars tried to pass off an ample head as fulfilling the 16-ounce requirement, something this bill would help regulate. In addition, the dreaded cheater pint, or glass with a thicker bottom or sides to deliberately fool consumers into thinking they're getting a full pint, was another reason behind this push for a new regulatory power. A similar bill was introduced in Michigan in 2013, but it never went to law. The Oregon House passed the Honest Pint Act in 2009 that would have allowed businesses to post state stickers certifying that they serve a 16-ounce pint, but the bill later died.
All right.
So Oregon tried to do it.
I just want to point out, coincidence or otherwise, JP also writes the feedback segment where this very topic came up today. Now, I don't know that there's anything shystery going on there. I'm just
Shystery.
Do
I look like a shyster to you?
Oh, yeah. Is there a conflict of interest here?
So I'm just pointing it out.
Is that like a terrorist?
What's our next story?
This one is called Get Your Hose On, Girl. I paused for effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Women have been steadily climbing back into the world of beer recently, setting up tasting groups, beer tours, and even becoming professional brewers. Over in Sweden, things are ramping up a notch with a brewery called Ocean releasing a beer brewed with the beer drinking group Fem Ale. Now, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that Fem Ale is for women only. Formed by Felicia Nordstrom, a bar worker who says she was fed up with bearded beer snobs telling her, quote, what do you know about beer, sweetie? End quote. She contacted the brewers at Ocean, and together they brewed, the brewery and Fem Ale created their own beer called We Can Do It. We Can Do It uses 3 malts, Maris Otter, Amber, and a Thomas Fawcett wheat malt, and the hop varieties are Galaxy and Cascade. Its IBU is 65, and the alcohol content is 4.6.
All right.
What did that have to do with getting your hose on?
HOSE, because they're in a brewery, dummy.
Oh, all right.
Thanks.
And their hose, see?
Well, I got that part, but I wasn't sure if he was just being chauvinist because...
No, I just meant because you're pulling hoses around.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Objectifying.
Why don't you slow down?
He's objectifying hoses.
Right.
I appreciate a good hose.
Thank you.
Brown hose.
All right, well,
Okay, this next one's called Hip Garden, Bro. Have you ever wanted to be a part of something really cool, but never really had the time, drive, or desire to do much about it at all? Tom Wood, a brewer in the UK, is looking for you. Tom has launched the Gloucester Grow Beer Project, which wants beer lovers from across the country to grow a dwarf variety of hops in their back gardens. He said, in late September, the hops will be harvested and used by the team at Gloucester Brewery. Do I have that correct? Gloucester Brewery to make beer. When it's ready, the growers will come together once more to toast their success over a pint or two of the beer they have helped create. Wood is trying to bring the craft brewing community back into the community.
What was this one called?
Hip Garden, bro.
Hang on. B-R-O.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Got it.
And last but not least, right? That's 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 3.
This last one is called Study Buddy. Studies thank you very much. Studies seem to be a dietary staple of the modern news diet, but this one is of particular interest. According to a study funded by something calling itself the Center for a Better Life, cooking with everyone's favorite malted beverage can actually be as healthy, and in some cases more healthy, than drinking it alone. That's right, beer has now earned its spot on your spice rack if the study is to be believed. Quote, we have known for years that a moderate diet of beer can have numerous health benefits, but what we have discovered is that cooking with beer can help to magnify those same benefits, says Dr. Asmat Gupti, I think it's how you pronounce it, who leads the research. During the cooking cycle, impurities, alcohol, and other, quote, poisons are extracted, leaving behind more of the antioxidants and positive proteins that we have all come to know and love. The study is to be published in the Journal of Food Science and Toxicity later this year.
All right, there you have it. Well, once again, JP has stumped me. This is a tough load of crap.
Well,
that you
it's
laid
not
on us
4
here.
plus 4, but
That was a lot of crap.
All right, well, we're going to go right to Johnny here, our first contestant. Sum it up really quick. Your first story was that the state of, which state?
Maine.
Maine was going to oversee the amount of beer being poured, making sure that consumers were getting what the bars were saying they were getting. Then you've got Get Your Hose On, Girl. Which is a feminist ale group that were fed up with bearded beer snobs and thought they'd make some real beer instead. Then you got your
ale.
Hip Garden Bro, people growing dwarf hop varieties in their backyards. And finally, Study Buddies, which is, I don't know what the study thing has to do with, but cooking with beer.
Because it's a study.
They were doing a study on
it. It's based on a study about cooking with beer is healthy for you.
It's healthy.
Who are the buddies?
You never use that term, study buddy? Do I have to explain puns to you?
I guess.
Okay, I'll do it later.
I was thinking a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Cooking with beer becomes even healthier than just drinking beer. All right, Johnny, which one's the fake?
Jumpin' Johnny.
I'm going to go with number 3 because I've looked for dwarf hop varieties to grow in my yard, and I can't find them.
I just find dwarves, and then I poke them.
I plant them in my yard.
Yeah. They don't grow much.
I don't get any hop.
I make them my study buddy.
I throw shit at them as fertilizer, but they don't grow.
All that screaming's annoying, too.
Then I started planting them upside down, so I didn't have to hear them screaming.
It worked for them tomato plants I had. I figured it worked for the dwarves.
Hey, topsy-turvy my ass.
Oh, hell.
All right.
Johnny's cracking up over there.
Well, Johnny has spoken. He says 3 is the fake. Let's go to Dan.
All
Dan,
right.
which one do you think is the fake?
I'm going to go with the semen ale.
The what?
Fem ale.
Oh, the female.
Yeah.
That's not what he said.
That's
Yeah,
not what he
did
said,
say?
but that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Salty semen.
The she-male?
That's what I heard. I got confused with Dr. Earling's story.
The she-male?
I'm going with the she-male tonight.
That's what I thought, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm
Sorry,
talking
yeah, Dan, wrong game.
Sorry.
That's. We're playing that game next week.
talking to this guy out my window. Hold on a second. So the she-male, I think, is fine.
Well, the she-male's $20 less, so I think
I'm on the radio.
I think that's a good choice.
Ma?
All right, Thud Monkey. Which one's the fake?
Thud Monkey.
You know what? I'm going to ask for some brewcaster help, but first, I just, only someone who's so insecure as JP would get offended by you not understanding the name of Study Buddy.
Right.
I think I'm leaning towards Study Buddy, but let me hear what the brewcasters have to say.
Well, can we just point out that I came up with all of the names for everything?
Yes, but you were most upset about us questioning Study Buddy, is his point.
All right. Okay. All right.
Jay, what do you
Which
think?
brewcaster?
Yeah.
I want to hear from Tasty. Because,
Yeah, good call.
There you go.
Good call.
So do we, which is weird.
All right, well, let's see what I got.
Is he here?
Well, I am a little
Wait, woke
confused.
up.
Yeah, well, wait. I'm a little confused about the dwarf plants. I don't know. It sounds really hard to... Never heard of such a thing. Also doubting the...
Fucking right.
My second most likely choice is the female thing. Would they really be that stupid to...
It was in Europe.
in Europe, especially.
Yeah.
It is Sweden.
They're much more enlightened.
To make what? To make a female only?
Well, to make, like a female only anything. Like Are they general like neutral and all that, or
It's not Star Trek. Come on,
it's not a country full of David Bowies.
Anyway, the dwarf plants is my first choice, and the female is my second. Sure.
Yeah, well, those females are a bit crazy, and hello.
Yeah, hang in there.
I like dwarves. Hello.
Yeah, all right. So Thud Monkey, you're going with the dwarves.
No, I'm going with Study Buddy.
You're going with Study Buddy.
I'm going with my gut.
What did Dan go with?
He went with the female.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, Moscow.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go to Mo.
Well, I'm convinced the hop growing and the Study Buddy are true. I want to say I like to agree with JP.
Everyone would like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but F that guy.
Right. I definitely can't.
Have you seen how he dresses?
I can't do. I just can't.
Hey, knock it off. I'd like to think that the main law is a true thing, because we like our beer here in America, and
we like new laws.
Yeah, in Maine, you sure do.
But,
all right.
I mean, I also have a hard time finding that someone would regulate business and all that BS.
All right.
So, but get your hose on was very specific. Like with the
who's taking a leak right now?
Wow.
It was like it's real bad. All kinds of grains in there, and that just sounded way too specific.
Can you give the?
I'm going to go with the number 2 women brewers is the fake.
All right, we got
that. Was brilliant.
Yeah.
Where's the toilet flush? Flush the toilet, will you?
Hey, Justin, why did you just
wash
wipe
your hands?
Why did you just wipe your hands, Justin?
He's over at EJ Fair.
They got grossed out. Yeah.
No, you just wiped your hands for no apparent reason.
I'm sort of wiping my whole body off. I'm feeling very dirty.
Nothing new. You touched in the last 15 minutes. You picked up whatever you could and you wiped your hands.
Yeah. Was that hand sanitizer you started?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I think it was JP's hoodie.
That's very observant for Doc. Unusually observant.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just Pavlovian, I guess.
Because I'm over here next to JP, so I have to see some stuff.
All right. I have a question for the team here.
Awesome.
If I support you in that question.
Sounds great.
If number 1 about the not pouring enough beer for people is a real story, then the feedback was fake, right? Like he planted that feedback story.
Oh, you think there's
they can't both be real.
Conspiracy theory.
See, I was leaning towards one being bullcrap because I was like, oh, JP read this feedback email and then made a fake story about it.
Right.
But it's so like Maine to want to oversee minutia. Like
then he wrote the fake email.
Then he wrote that. Well,
okay,
I didn't think about that.
Here's my thing: is it just happened. I was waiting for Moscow to erupt in, more government control.
Yeah, well, Maine loves it. They love it.
That's what makes him wash his hands.
Exactly.
Or
he wants to hurl right now.
Or maybe JP got the feedback, thought, this is a good story.
Well, that's my first thought. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If the
didn't
news
fake anything.
Both are true.
Yeah.
Oh,
they can't.
That's a coincidence.
No, I'm saying he got the feedback and then he was like, this might be a good story to include.
Yeah.
And then researched it.
I think we're reading way too much into
JP.
Which we always do in this game, by the way.
Wait a minute, this actually happened,
I'm not done.
researched it.
I'm a simple man.
No, he didn't research it.
Exactly.
He was like, one of my points is already done for me.
Hey, JP,
what do you mean?
I mean, he got the feedback and he was like, okay, cool. I don't have to work on that one. It's done. That's number
fake.
1.
No, she's saying I read the story as feedback and said, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And then Googled it.
And it was true.
And then there's a story about it. And then I go, I'll just include it in there. And then there you go.
How about the part where JP didn't realize it until about 2 minutes ago?
See, it's too coincidental. It's not going to be fake. I think it's a real story. It's too much of a coincidence. That's what I'm saying. The feedback is fake,
my goodness.
which is going to make me have to read through all the feedbacks for the last 3 years and see which ones are fake.
I've been planting fake stories.
You're like the Brian Williams.
Brian
you're the,
Hunt.
You're the Brian. No, the news guy. You're like the Brian Williams of our Wilson.
Huh.
So
I've never heard of
We're
that.
all up on current events.
You did hear that Moscow's opening a bed and breakfast
Brian
in
Williams.
Maine.
Whatever. All right. Anyhow,
but if that one's
which
true,
one
then which one's fake?
Oh, what are we talking about?
Which story's fake?
Study Buddy is fake.
We're about to start the show.
So you guys don't even know what a study buddy is.
Study Buddy is fake.
Oh, yes,
Cooking with beer is not healthy.
It's not more. The story says that it's like twice as healthy as just drinking the beer.
The cooking gets
or
rid of
whatever.
toxins.
It's healthy.
So, Tazy, which one do you think?
Well,
is
the
fake?
alcohol is burnt out. I mean, that goes away. So
yeah.
It's something that
It's not twice. It's during the cooking cycle, impurities, alcohol, and other quote poisons are extracted, leaving behind more of the antioxidant and positive proteins.
What was the guy's name who did the study?
Asmat Gupti.
That's what makes me think it's real. That's what makes me think it's real.
And the name of the Swedish chick was like something Nordstrom.
Right, yeah.
That's a good point.
So maybe it is the...
Well, it has an umlaut, but I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
These are all
Sweden doesn't have umlauts.
These are all so believable. Every one of them.
I know. It's all a stab in the dark. I don't know. So, Tazy, which one? Just pick one.
I am going with the.
I'll go with W.
The dwarf plants. I don't know.
Dwarf plants. Moscow, what do you think it is fake?
I think that it's. God, the study. I agree with you. Study buddy.
Beardy?
Dwarf plants.
So hip
Doc?
garden, first of all.
Study buddies, no.
Beeve?
She-male. She-something.
She-male.
I was going to go with the she-male.
She-male. Can't beat that.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Study Buddy. Part of me wants to take the obvious one, which is the Maine beer, but I don't know.
That's so Maine.
All right, JP, tell us what's what.
Well, I will point out that if you put the word femme and then the word ale next to together and you spell it properly, it's female.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. So apparently that is a very much a real group in Sweden, and they have teamed up with a real brewery called Ocean, and they are really brewing something called We Can Do It, and they're really called female.
Okay.
And they're really only allowing for women only. No men are allowed
to drink it
at all. No, in their little group.
Oh.
It is worth noting that the brewer of Ocean is a man. So,
is it a tight group?
I think that's worth noting.
Well,
it might be a tight group.
Dan and Chairman Mao are out.
Right. And then as far as
they lift each other up in that group,
they really do. Yeah, it's not like this show.
Right.
Yeah.
Shut up, Warren.
What's it called? Yes, we can, or something.
We can do it. Like Rosie the Riveter.
We can do it.
See, they took it from Obama.
Another thing Sweden stole from the U.S.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I will note also that apparently the issue in Maine is a very real issue about the 14-ounce glasses or less, people getting robbed, people having cheater pints. It is an actual issue that Senator Dan Patrick is very, very passionate about, and stuff like that.
So
that's real shit.
Did you find
then, JP, tell me about the feedback story.
The feedback is real. This is real. It was very coincidental.
In your face.
No, it was
So
not.
you swear to God.
Did you find the story before or after?
Before because I wrote the stories earlier in the week and I do feedback on Fridays.
Wow.
So yeah, I wrote this beforehand.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
No bed and breakfast for Moscow.
I hate that was
just bed.
That was his whole business plan. It was hinging upon ripping people off for pints.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to point out, Scott, I think according to my notes, Dan and Mo Brewer are out.
Yes, they are donezo.
Only Johnny and Thud Monkey are left. Dan, Mo Brewer, thanks for playing, guys.
Done.
Thanks. Good night.
Thanks, man. All right, brothers.
Night, guys.
Good night.
All right, so keep going, JP.
Well, we only have two remaining. And these are going to be very interesting. So,
Fitty.
Study buddies in the garden.
It's Study Buddy and Hip Garden, bro.
It's
interesting. It sounds like two B movies. that you might
It's
watch
a double
at a
feature
double
at the
feature.
Solano Drive-In.
Right.
Yeah. On Thursday nights.
Study Buddies and Hip Garden. Tonight only. For $4.99.
It might even be the shipment that you get from Adam and Eve. You don't really ever know.
But JP will watch both these movies in one night.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Double feature.
Well, Tasty, guess what? If you're looking for dwarf hops,
I'm not going to find him. I know.
You should probably get in contact with Tom Wood.
Yes!
Gloucester Beer Project. This man is actually really trying to get people across his county to grow a dwarf bush style of hop and bring him the hops. And they will brew a beer together with
What
him.
a douche.
So that's the dwarf bush.
Yeah.
English getting someone else to do the work for him.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
So that means Dr. Sanjay Gupta is not a real person.
Asmat Gupti.
Asmat.
And that's correct. That is the incorrect. That is the fake. You found it!
Wow.
That's Thud Monkey's win right there.
Thud Monkey, congratulations, good sir.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Send Bevo an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. She's going to get you a prize, good sir.
Oh, I got so many prizes coming.
You can.
That's why
donate
she
it.
keeps saving it.
You can
waiting to get
Yeah,
them.
from us.
donate it to Johnny,
So much
maybe.
prizes.
You want to
All
give
the
your
prizes.
prize to Drunken Johnny instead?
Yeah, be nice.
Drunken Johnny.
Yeah, Drunken John. He's the guy who's number 2.
Look at this.
Second place.
The spirit of
All
giving
right.
is alive here on the beach.
Johnny,
Brewer's Code.
send Bevo an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. Johnny, you're going to get a prize.
Make it happen.
Hey, am I on the air?
Yeah.
Hey, hang on. Can I stay on the line real quick?
Hey,
Yes.
Stud Monkey.
I got a quick thing to
Thank you very much because I'm really drunk and I actually just broke my glasses. Running into the wall.
I fell on my face.
And you know what? They done broke.
That is actually very
The
accurate.
sad sack in his voice. I'm really drunk and I broke my glasses.
I mean, 1 minute I was upright, and the next I was downright.
I was ass over tit and my glasses broke.
Hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, you're drunk of the week.
if you want to know what really happened,
Yeah.
I was sitting down, and then I was upright, and then I was diagonal.
And then I missed my
Yeah.
It just so happens that half my face is the door frame.
Wow.
Was that on the way out of the bathroom after you peed?
Upright and I was diagonal.
No, that was me that peed earlier.
He was sitting down
after that.
Then he was upright.
This is definitely drunk of the year
peed.
material.
See, I had taken a piss, and then I had
We were
sitting
there.
down, and then I stood it up to take another piss, and then I had felled it down.
Send that guy a medal. Please send that guy
All right. You're drunk of the week, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
I like
I got a quick point to make.
Go ahead.
I have to say that
as a college
Hang on. Wait.
Wait.
Thud Monkey. Hang on 1 second. Let Johnny,
Put one of them on hold.
anything
please.
else, Johnny?
I have to say that I have to thank the lords of hypothetical spirituals,
Yeah.
because if it wasn't for the hypothetical spirit, I would not be where I am today, which is drunk of the motherfucking week.
Okay.
Listen, Jesus couldn't have said it better himself.
It's true.
Johnny, email me right now or you're going to forget.
Yes.
Right now. There's 2 E's in Bevo.
He can't. He does. His glasses broke.
Too much already, Bev. Don't even.
Two E's and Beaver.
BEEZO.
You got it.
That's it.
BrewNetwork.com.
How bad is your life when Thud Monkey is telling you how to spell things?
With some guy called
Do it
Thud
right
Monkey.
Does he have a backup pair of glasses, or is he going to be SOL tomorrow?
You wear glasses.
Only
you have a
Warren's going
backup
that far
pair.
with it.
It might be last.
Well, as someone
last
who
year's
can't
prescription.
see-
Yeah, Beardy's really concerned.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Warren. Hey, Blondie, fucking Warren. Dude, how blind are you? Like, this is a legitimate question because, like, I actually am completely blind in one eye, and then the other eye, I can only see about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet, and then that's about it.
See, I could hear that in your voice. I knew. As a fellow blindy.
Blindy.
I'm not really that blind. Because I can drive.
I didn't think so, because you fucker. See, like, have you ever seen that card at the fucking eye doctor that's like maybe
the one with that
like
E
a little
on
bit
top?
bigger than a 3x5? It's like slightly bigger than a 3x5.
You know, it's got them hieroglyphics or whatever that you call them.
Those black blotches across the room.
It's like a psychology test, right? Where it's, hey, tell me what this means, right?
Those English hieroglyphics.
You know, it's just blurry things that point one way or the next.
I don't even think they even really mean anything. They just want to know what you're thinking inside your head.
Tasty's wondering why he came back in.
Doug and JP, I would like to say to both of you, fuck you guys, because I am blind and I am a home brewer.
So take that.
Yeah. Which came first?
I wish I could come right to your house and tell you the same thing.
All right, Johnny, you are drunk of the week, and you're
boy.
getting a prize for being second place as well. So,
you know what? Second place is second place.
ADA and all that shit. Only having one eye ain't holding you back, Johnny.
Email me right now.
Yeah.
He's overcoming adversity.
All right, brother.
right
Hey,
now.
thanks for calling in, man. Be safe tonight. Don't get hurt.
Sounds like the only eye that works well on him is the brown eye. You know what I'm trying to say?
All right, Thud Monkey, are we done? Are we good?
No, hang on. I got a point to make.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, you know, as a college student, I go to Fridays every once in a while.
Okay.
Fridays has great. So, yeah, it doesn't have great beer on tap, but it has some good beers on tap, some local brews, and they serve 14-ounce pints. They advertise it. They it's a 14-ounce, and they write 14-ounce pint. And I always ask the waiter or waitress, you know, this isn't a 14-ounce pint. There's no such thing as a 14-ounce pint.
Yeah.
How about a 14-ounce beer?
That's true.
So then they always respond, well, that's Friday's policy. So I'm asking you guys, while, you know, in the feedback it was, you save $108 a pint, or $108 for serving a 14-ounce beer. What about how many more beers you can serve? You know, you got to think about that.
Shut the fuck up.
Extra, 8 more beers.
If I was really drunk like I am, I'm gonna do what Beardy said, and I'm gonna take a graduated cylinder and say, "Give me a pint," and they're gonna fill that thing up, and they go, "Oh, that's our pint."
Well, that's what they're saying. They're advertising what they're advertising. I mean, they're saying it's a 14-ounce pint, but they're using pint in the slang term. Everyone says, give me a pint, give me a pint. So, but at least they're telling you it's 14 ounces. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying that it's not as misleading as somebody going, here's your pint, and then it's only 14 ounces. You see what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, though.
I don't know.
Thanks, buddy.
Let me make a point. So occasionally, I don't like to cook at home, and I like to go out and I eat sometimes. And sometimes a place that I go to has food, and
people.
Sometimes they have beer. And then I ask the people, thank you, who work at the. God, what the fuck was your point?
All right.
Okay, your point is.
Sorry.
None.
Now I know how you guys feel.
Did you leave the car running?
All right, let's get out of here. Twitter game.
Yes.
Was
we still got him.
I gotta go, Doc.
Fine, really?
Fine in your face.
Yeah.
Let's drink after the show.
Yeah. SF Sleep Week. What do people want to see with our new SF Sleep Week thing?
The back of their eyelids.
Warren, that's not even funny.
It is when he does that little meme.
I have a knife.
It was Beardy.
No, it wasn't.
You ready for it, or are we not ready for it?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, great. Our good friend Pi says he wants a pajama party at the Hop Grenade, but he spelled pajama weird, and maybe it's Australian.
Well, of course, because he's Australian.
So our friends at Society Brewing Company, or Societe, want a Nutters slumber party. Our also other good friend, Sean Sully O'Sullivan, says a panel discussion and sensory on stomach pH returning to normal.
I like that.
That'd be great. Dustin Jennings says farting directly into Tasty's sleep apnea machine.
APAP.
That's an event that he wants to see at the Sleep Week.
That's the weirdest one we've ever.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. And it takes a special amount of thought Like, that one didn't just come out of nowhere.
No.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed, too.
It sounds like somebody who's had his sleep apnea machine farted it.
I'll show them.
You want to try it?
God, what a weird thing.
It's too much detail.
What else you got?
Change windows. Ian Hay says water and Advil pairings, sobriety lectures, and meet the liver disease specialist night.
I like that.
Not too bad. Clay Turnbow says the only way to better SF Beer Week is by having lunch meat Olympics, which I personally agree.
No.
Okay. God, I didn't get the person's name. My fault. Someone says all SF Beer Week attendees will spend this next week in hyperbaric sleep nests within Beardy's face forest.
Gross. Also good.
Kind of like Ewoks.
Right. A lot like Ewoks. Austin says Sam, dressed as the Pope, teabagging all the sleeping people while Justin sleep rapes things.
That's another one that takes too much thought.
Why is he dressed as the Pope?
What's a non sequitur?
That was 256 characters in that.
Well, now we know what Sam's going to be for Halloween
You know what?
next year.
Justin does not even own a mitre.
What?
That's the Pope hat.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was like wood carving.
I thought you were talking about a 40.
Me too. I was like, what are we sawing?
Angle.
And then last but not least, Tim Bevan writes, events, everyone will be sleeping. Isn't that the point? Which I thought was a very good point.
And that's our winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Tim, you did it, buddy.
Yeah. All right, send an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. We'll send you something cool.
Which one?
Something cool.
Which one?
All right, next week we've got David Gull from New Helvetia Brewing Company on the program, so we'll be back with you for that. And so Dr. Homebrew something this week, too, isn't it?
Next week. We changed it.
Oh, it's next week now.
Lots of shows this week. We got Brewing with Style tomorrow and Sour Hour on Wednesday.
Excellent. Sweet. All right, so stay tuned to the Brewing Network. Come on into the Hop Grenade. You can check it all out here as well. And I believe we're done. Are we done?
Done.
I feel like we're done.
Done. Beardy?
All right, JP,
We're
get us out of here, will you?
Sure, we can be done.
Yeah, we're done. We can be done.
Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
Now we're done.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can have everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Thanks to Kelly at Kelso Brewing from New York. Join us to school us on all things East Coast. Follow JP on Twitter at Major Jip and see videos of his cat licking him. Warren was here looking, again, like a total and complete asshole.
Yes!
For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Pushy Jack. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP had a designated driver, and all the time he was reading these plugs had Doc gently caressing his back and his arms. Bevo was late with pizza, and we'll have our feet bound for 2 weeks. And your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to...
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his charity.